5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition, liftoff.
It's now time for the Game of the Week, a service of SeaGame.live. SeaGame.live.
Alrighty.
Hey, here we are in beautiful downtown Sumner for the opening game of the football season, the spring football season. We are here watching the Tacoma Sabers take on the SouthSound Nighthawks. To save time and energy, they just kicked the ball off. The Nighthawks will have the ball on their own 32-yard line. Now, joining me in the booth today is our good friend Bryce Williams. Great to have you here, Bryce.
Great to be here. That's very nice.
He did some games for us last year, or actually finance games, and then came up and gave some great little introductions. So we're starting off on the 32-yard line. It's the Sabres ball. The Nighthawks ball. They're coming out of a I formation, kind of old school. Back set up. Handoff inside. Breaks inside. Tries to bounce outside, but there's good defensive penetration right up the middle. So that's the very first game of the year. Very first game, in fact, in the history. It's a historic night because the people clad in brown and gold look somewhat like the Wyoming Cowboys. This is their first game ever in existence. Now, some of them have played for the Tacoma Lions, but as far as this team goes, this is the first time they've ever played. Okay, two wides. Got the same I formation in the backfield. Slot to the right, wing to the right, hands off inside, quick run inside, breaks outside, turns upfield, and gets a couple of yards.
Yeah, and it looks like that was Corwin that took that fullback. It's an exciting game because, I mean, we're going to get really a first look at the Tacoma Sabres, and they've been a much kind of talked about team in the offseason. They've got a really good coaching staff, and I've actually even had the opportunity to play with several of their coaches. So they have a lot of talent and a lot of potential. And then, of course, the Nighthawks, who are
championship teams.
Team. Yeah, championship team, and they have good leadership, good ownership, and great coaching. So
okay, third and just a bit more than 10. We're looking for a pass here. Rolls to the right, pitches to the far side, right of the screen, fumble, but he picks it up and goes out of bounds. A gain of a few.
Yeah, it looked like Donnie McKay there. He just couldn't quite handle the pitch, and he had it. If he'd been able to hold on, he could have taken that upfield, maybe gained a few extra yards, but didn't quite work out. Looks like we're coming up on fourth down now.
The Tacoma Sabres are playing in the Pacific Northwest Football League. Our good friends, the SouthSound Nighthawks, who we've done a number of games, did championship games recently. Yeah. They are in the Northern Cascade Football League, so it's an interdivision rivalry. First punt of the game on the first series of the season, in fact. Mm-hmm. It's great. Here we are again. Spring football, amateur football, guys that just love to play. That's why they're out there. None of them get paid. It's just a passion. Well, you know that. You spent years on the other side of the mic.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's really what it's about. I mean, people come out and do it for the love of the game, and it's a lot of fun.
Fair catch called just south of the 20-yard line. That's going to put it about the 18.
Yep.
And so here it is, the very first offensive series in the history of the Sabres.
Yeah, it was probably a good choice by Elijah Netzer to just fair catch that and kind of let the offense get on the field and do some work. So should be exciting to see. I mean, it's a young squad, so you can expect kind of early on that there may be some mistakes. But that's one of the big things with the preseason, is these games don't count in the overall record, so you get a lot of chance to really kind of iron out your mistakes and get back.
That is such an important point, especially when it's the first game ever. Quick handoff to the right side of the formation towards us. Got some penetration there by the defensive end of the defense. So it looks like a minimal gain to me. That should put it about 2nd and 10.
Yeah, it looks like Randy Greer was trying to get out to the outside, but they pretty much swarmed him, and they were able to get to him nice and fast. It'll be interesting to see if they decide to go to the air or if they stick with the run.
Yeah, that is exactly what I'm thinking here, right? This is the first time they've ever actually thrown a pass. So they're out of the shotgun. Looks like they're going to do that. No, handoff inside. Good hard running. Keeps jamming. Well short of the first down. Now, why do you think they would make that choice there? I mean, they are deep in their own territory. So their first series, were they just trying to get the feel of the game?
I think so. It's kind of early. I mean, I think they want to see what Greer can do, and also it kind of gives them a chance to hopefully establish the run. I mean, they've been gaining some yards, so I think early on the biggest thing is you don't kind of want to throw the quarterback into too much trouble to start off the game. So you kind of want to see if you can establish the run. The hard thing is that, you know, when you look at the Nighthawks, they have a fantastic defensive line. So they're going to have troubles trying to run on them consistently.
Well, now it is third down. He's back, moving up forward inside of the contained rush.
Interception.
Turns it back up into the middle of the field. Bodies are flying all over the place. And I'm having a bit of trouble.
I believe that was Tony Banks. I could be wrong, but that was a great play. I mean, he was in there, and it kind of was an ill-advised pass from the quarterback. I know he wanted to make the play, and he could see the linebackers and D-line kind of stepping up into him, but you could see he didn't really get his feet set, and he kind of just lofted it. And if you do that against a team the caliber of the Nighthawks, they will make you pay for it for sure.
He was running, yes. He was scrambling around. There's always the possibility that the receiver breaks off his route trying to help his quarterback out. Either way, here it is, 1st and 10 on about the 30-yard line. Nighthawks heading in. Quick handoff to the right side, cuts up field, and gets a nice chunk of yardage off of first down.
Very well played. And that's the thing. I think with both teams, you can kind of see early on, they both want to kind of get the run game going and kind of fill out the other team as far as what they're going to be willing to give away. And hopefully, I mean, ideally, if you can establish a nice running game and kind of get them to come up on the run, then the pass game should open up and you should get some chances to throw some deep balls.
Okay, we're out of the shotgun with a full backfield, a somewhat unusual set. They got 2 wides and three wides, 2 to the top, 1 down here to the screen. Ball bounces around, quarterback scrambling, good contain. That's one of the big things. It's always important on pass rush. Get the outside man upfield into a contain.
Yeah, that was a good job by Jason Wiley, just kind of keep that ball because it looked like it was bouncing around. He might actually lose it for a moment there. I would have been interested to see that play actually correctly play out, though, because they had a stack up top, and then they had like a pro set look in the backfield. So it would have been I would have been very interested to see that develop correctly. But unfortunately, you know, that sometimes happens where the snap just kind of gets away from you, and you just kind of got to take what you can and live to fight another day.
And let's hand it to Ryan Tao, number 99 for the Sabres, for making a nice play there.
Definitely.
3rd and long, probably going to go there. Another
again.
muff. Turns around, scrambling. He's just trying to keep the play alive. Now you see the defender came in from behind him and did the swipe at the ball. We're lucky that he didn't fumble it on that one. That's often how that happens. You know, you played quarterback. Yeah. Not that you would ever actually fumble the ball, but that's when coming from behind you, throwing the arm across, trying to knock the ball out.
That is probably like the most dangerous thing as a quarterback, especially when you're trying to scramble and you have people coming from behind. It can definitely play into it. I think in this case, I'd be curious to see what is actually going on. I don't know if it's maybe the lighting that's kind of throwing him off, because the snaps, as far as from what I can see, they weren't terrible snaps. They were still within that range that he could handle them, but he's having trouble kind of getting the ball. So that's one of the things they're going to have to figure out between him and the center so that he can be able to actually make plays, because it's really hard when you can't even get your hands on the ball to do anything.
Sure. And that could be the case of just looking downfield early on in the game.
Yeah.
Not a real good punt there.
Yeah, so he kind of shanked that one.
It will set up the Sabres in a good field position.
Yeah. I think the thing, too, though, with that punt, it might have been somewhat intentional, even though it kind of looked like a shank. They didn't want to, of course, kick it into the end zone, so he was probably trying to angle it for the sidelines. Just didn't catch it quite right, and it kind of went out probably a lot earlier than he had hoped. But Hey, it's preseason, so you know.
Yeah, I think you're right on that guess right there. Okay, look at this. We got trips down here. As an old quarterback, you're going to look for some kind of combination route for the people to the bottom of the screen. They're out. He's got time, plenty of time. Steps up to throw over the middle, takes the easy throw or the easy yards underneath, and it's enough for a touchdown. Touchdown? What am I talking about? It's enough for a first down, and that's a big first down in their history of this team. So it will now be at the 50-yard line, 1st and 10. This would be a great momentum maker if they're able to drive on down there. It's got to give them some confidence, right? Brand new team, first time they've got a first down.
Yeah, and Corey Klingberg, he made a good job. He kind of found a little hole there, and then of course with Nate Mace, he's a good quarterback. I've had the opportunity to in the past kind of practice with him and whatnot, and I mean. If you can't sleep on him because, I mean, if he's getting the wide receivers, they get on the same page with him, he can throw the ball. He can definitely throw the ball. So it's good to see that their offense is kind of getting back on pace and they're kind of getting stuff figured out.
All right, carrying the ball was 35. Randy Greer did not get a whole lot of yards on that play, but he's going to pick up an additional 15 on the personal foul face mask. So that will be 1st and 10.
That really hurts. Like, yeah, those are those kind of mental errors that you kind of want to avoid, especially early in games. But that's the thing. The Nighthawks have a really good defense, so I wouldn't necessarily it's one of those things you kind of worry, but you can never be too worried. As long as they actually execute and get their game plan back on track, they'll be fine.
Well, that's one of the things, too. I talked to the Nighthawk coaches before the game, and they actually, both of the coaches, different coaches had little different takes on the game, but they were saying, in general, they want to just be consistent. Be basic and be consistent. Snap again, handoff inside. He runs into his own man. He's hit again. That is a swarming team, swarming defense. Boy, that's what you like to see as the offense starts to move down the field. In this case, it's the Nighthawks on defense. As the offense moves down the field, then the defense starts waking up and swarming to the ball. That was a good example of gang tackling.
Yeah, and Mac kind of got in there and stopped him. And once he's got his hands on you, you are not going anywhere. So that was one of those battles where Greer was not probably going to win. But you can see he's running hard and he's trying to hit the holes. And I think that's going to be big for them, is kind of getting used to that and getting as many yards as they can.
Two up to the top. Quarterback back, took him right. He's got a guy. He's got an open. Nice. There it is. Oh, man. The receiver number 11, that would be Corey Klingberg. Yes. He broke out. He got a little separation, and that was one. He wasn't wide open, but he was able to separate himself from the defender. That's just a flash down the sidelines. I probably didn't even make any moves. They're calling the official timeout.
Yeah, no, that's a big one. That's one that you want to connect. But, I mean, you're going to have a few of those throws as a quarterback where, you know, if you connected, it could have been a touchdown. But you just put a little bit too much on it or a little too little. It's a hard position to play. But definitely, I think it's kind of obvious early that Klingberg is their guy. Like, they seem to have a good connection, and they're going to have to watch him because it looks like they're liking to attack, and they will keep going to him. I definitely believe that.
Okay, so what we got trips to the top. One man down here, semi-roll to the right. Sets, comes back to the single receiver. He's open. Oh! Oh, that was another close one. Hey, you know, the thing is that we got 8 minutes and 6 seconds to go in the first quarter of their first game ever. And already they're showing opportunities to connect and to score. And this, this takes a while to actually start making everything come together. And I'm telling you, I feel good about their possibility, the future, in the fact that this quick in their existence, they're breaking people free down the sidelines and up the middle of the field. And they're just moving the ball slowly but surely. And they're going to go for it. Is that right? Going for it on fourth down.
And 4. I mean, it's
trips to the top. Got the single receiver down here to the bottom. Single back set, and
timeout,
I think it's a penalty.
Oh,
illegal substitution against the defense, and that's going to give you a first down.
That's a crucial error right there. That's unfortunate. Yeah, you cannot afford to do that.
Oh, and that's the kind of thing, right? You keep this drive going. That's
Yep.
a couple of penalties where they could have shut down the Sabres, give them another first down, give them more life. And after the first penalty that gave them the first down that we saw earlier in this drive, that's when the Sabres were able to break some receivers deep towards the end zone.
Yeah.
So, I'm thinking they might be getting a little confidence off of this. We got trips to the top, one down here to the bottom. So looking at the top to the left of the formation, single back with the quarterback. I'm looking for some kind of route combination up there with those top receivers.
Yeah, we'll see what there. No, there you go.
Gets outside.
Quarterback decided to keep it.
So the QB was able to break outside of the contain, although I did not see him look to set to throw down field.
No, it looked like that was a designed run. Oh, and somebody just went down. Hopefully he's all right. I believe that. Oh, I think that's Cody Martinez that's down right now. I actually had the chance to play with Cody in the past. He's a really good player. He played a little bit of wide receiver and as well as a little bit of quarterback. And he can definitely, he's one of those guys that can be a playmaker and make big plays in big moments. So that would be,
and that's what you want.
Yeah, that would be a big loss for them to lose him this early. But the only upside when it comes to these games is, at least he's getting off. He's walking off. Looks like he's a little banged up, but presumably he'll have at least a few weeks to kind of recover and heal up between this and their season starting. So that'll hopefully he'll be all right. But it's definitely a good sign. And
now I'm going to go into this, and every time I see an injury, and people that have been listening to these broadcasts know what you do now is you ice it. Ice, ice, ice. And in fact, my good friend Bryce here, I had a few conversations with him when I would see him get banged up on the field, and I would say, Bryce, you got to ice. You got to ice the injury.
Definitely.
So hopefully they'll get him over there and get that bucket of ice onto his leg. Did you notice, was it his ankle or his knee?
I don't know. The way he's walking, I kind of feel like it may be his knee, but he is walking around on it. Yeah. So I think that there's a good chance he'll be all right.
I was going ankle on that. Yeah. So we'll see. Okay, here we go. Shotgun set. 2 receivers down here to the top. 2 to the top, 2 down here to the bottom. There's the snap. Handoff inside. Steps up, cuts outside, keeps going. Something is being stripped off of him. I don't know if I've ever seen that. That's one of the longest flags. If it were flagged, but what the heck is he trailing around there? So anyway, quick move inside, didn't see anything, broke outside, and the defender grabbed onto a piece of cloth and unraveled him for a loss.
Yeah, that's kind of tough. It's one of those things where a lot of times players like to put on those extra shirts or have something underneath, but you kind of got to be careful because they can grab onto that, and that's legal, but it allows them to slow you down.
Back in the old days, they would have the tearaway jerseys. They were just simple like T-shirts. So you grab them and they break off, but then they said that was illegal. Mm-hmm. So here we go, 3rd and a long 11.
They're going to have to pass on this one.
Trips to the top. We got the quarterback with 1 back remaining and 1 lone guy down here. He's looking right all the way, looking down to the bottom. They got to step on him. Here it is. The ball's a little high. And once again, this is one of those deals. That's the 3rd time at least in the first quarter that we have seen Sabre receivers break it deep. So that's got to be a good feeling and just work on. And you know how this goes. I mean, early in the season, the defense is always ahead of the offense. And one of the things that takes a few games, and certainly in the situation where you're a brand new team, that's amazing. You have a brand new team here playing, and he needs a little more reps with this QB there.
Well, and that specific play, like the Nighthawks actually played it right. I mean, that was one of the biggest, that was one of the biggest things because, I mean, if you look at the cornerback, I know the wide receiver was kind of asking for pass interference because he kind of felt like he was being held, but the way the quarterback played it was absolutely perfect, and he hugged him tight. You can get a level of contact and get away with it. It's all about how you play your defense and stay with your man. And so I think that was probably something that they even talked about because it kind of looked like they made a switch when they did that illegal substitution. They changed some stuff up as far as how they were covering Klingberg because –
talking about the defense there.
Yeah, the defense there. Yeah, because you could see that the defense kind of was getting concerned because,
Yeah.
it's like this guy's gotten open twice, and if that pass was on the money, either of those plays could have been touchdowns. So they had to kind of switch up what they were doing and kind of change a little bit of the personnel and who they were matching up and how they were playing them. But it worked, and, you get a result like that where you make them end up having to, turn over the ball. So
We had 4th and a long 11.
yeah, bend not break. That's the
The
biggest
Sabres
thing.
are going to punt. And a late player running out there to make sure they got the right numbers. They got a single player deep for the Nighthawks.
Ooh,
Rolling
that was
snap,
skip.
but there's not much pressure.
Well, that helps. Oof,
Not much of a punt either.
kind of short.
Real high, got a good bounce. It's going to end up around the 15-yard line.
That worked out actually pretty good for him.
Yeah. And so here's the deal, right? I mean, there's been a couple of times here in this last couple of drives, where the Tacoma Sabres, they could have stunned, they could have shocked the Nighthawks, right? But they got out of it. The ball's deep in their territory, not that bad though. And this would be a good time for the Nighthawks to shake off the little rustiness and matriculate the ball down the field. They have to be thinking something that the Nighthawks have to be somewhat concerned about the fact that those receivers are getting open against them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think, and that's one of the beauties of doing this early season is they're going to be able to look at the film and be able to figure out, hey, what's happening, who's missing an assignment, who's not doing what they're supposed to do, and then they can correct it. So quick
bubble screen, trips down here to the bottom, quick bubble screen. Unfortunately, one of the receivers that was supposed to go downfield and throw a block on the defensive back missed on the block. The idea there on the bubble screen is if the defense is playing off, one receiver, out of trips, there were 3 down there, one receiver will make a quick step backwards. The other 2 go down to throw the block. That has to happen when the defense is playing off them, which when you have trips, lots of times the defense will have to play off them a little bit because of the route combinations.
Yeah.
And in that case, unfortunately, the receiver went downfield, was not able to make the block.
Oh yeah, and I mean, it was a good concept. I mean, the player, as far as Demetrius Rackley, he is extremely talented wide receiver. I've had the opportunity to see him in action, and I mean, if you give him space,
Showing blitz off the corner, it's picked up,
There you
quick
go.
slant. That's a hot read
yep,
right there.
There he is again going to Demetrius.
Can we see that one again? You see, this is one where they have the slot receiver to the left of the formation, to the bottom of the picture, makes a quick slant inside.
Great
Called
throw.
a hot route. Now, do you think they read that because they showed blitz, picked it up well?
Yeah.
Do you think that was an audible down there on the field because it was a
It's-
hot route and he picked it off, ran at the blitzer?
It's very possible because it looked like they were, at the very least, the receiver and the quarterback were on the same page. The pass didn't have to be fancy; you just had to get there. And Rackley has the speed to just make that quick cut and be right where he's supposed to be, and that's basically what they did. I mean, it's an easy pitch and catch.
Okay, I got 4 wides, 2 to the top, 2 down here to the bottom. Quarterback sets, calls for the ball, hands off inside. It's a mess
keeps
up
it.
there.
Oof.
Breaks to the outside, turns it up, stays on his feet, takes a big hit there at the end of the run, gains a couple. Could have been a big loss, but was able to get a couple of yards there. And it seems that there was some miscommunication between the quarterback and the running back on that play.
Yeah, it was a good job by Jason Wiley to basically make something out of nothing. But I can tell you, as a quarterback, there's nothing you hate more than calling a play and getting that handoff confused, because now you're not prepared to necessarily take the hit, but now you have no choice but basically run around and get beat up.
Okay, 2nd and a long 9. One receiver to the top. They got 2 wides, 1 top, 1 down. He's back, rolling to the left towards our side. He tucks it. He decides to get what he can out of it. Barely gets back to the line of scrimmage. There's a flag in the backfield around where this offensive tackle lines up. That often is holding, and in fact, that is what the call is.
Oh, I wonder what was happening, because it looked like there's some confusion between the running back and the quarterback. Donnie McKay, I expected that he was going to get that ball, but for whatever reason, the quarterback just kept it.
Let's see that again there, Chip, if we could.
Yeah, you got to see even before that, because even if you look at the running backs, it almost looked like the running back didn't know who to block because he wasn't planning on blocking. I mean, if you could see earlier in the play, it looked like There was I almost want to say it should have been a pitch, but I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not sure what's
I
going
don't.
on there.
No, it looked to me like the quarterback was intending to roll. It's just that he got some pressure
Maybe
into his face and then had to tuck it a little early.
Yeah, I would have to see that again to know for sure. But yeah, that's
A big one, holding.
Oh yeah, the holding does not help on top of it for sure.
So Bryce, what's in the playbook for 2nd and 23?
Well, a lot of times, yeah, they're taking the time out. I think they're going to figure that out. A lot of times, it depends on your coaching strategy because sometimes coaches will look to get like a run or a screen or something short just to really try to gain back those yards to make third down manageable. Other times, you know, if you have the right players, you might try to do something to pick it all up in one play, but it's kind of risky.
Well, we certainly want to thank the SouthSound Nighthawks for sponsoring this game tonight.
Definitely.
This is an exciting game. Again, the first game ever for the Tacoma team out from
Sabres,
and the Nighthawks out of the Northern Cascades Football League, and Tacoma, of course, out of the Pacific League, and it's a great interleague game here.
Yeah, oh yeah, and it's pretty exciting. I mean, it's good to have kind of semi-pro back again, and I mean it's definitely fun to see these two teams playing. On one side, you have the Nighthawks, who they put together a championship team, and they have the ownership, leadership, everything else they have going on is really solid for them. But then on the other side, you have the Tacoma Sabers, who are a really new team. They're fresh, but they've actually played pretty well.
Absolutely.
It's definitely exciting to see what they will do in the
Okay, second and a long 20. Quick setback. His arm is hit as he throws. Had a couple of receivers over there.
Yeah, not sure
straight down the sidelines. This is one of those deals where they talk about you don't have to get it all back in one play, and it looked like they're doing that quick shot down the sidelines, trying to pick up maybe 10 and then set up for a better, more manageable third down. 3rd and 23 is something as a defensive coach you like to see, because guess what? They're coming. They're going to come off the edge early on, too. Let's see. They're going to send some pressure on blitzes. This will be interesting.
Yeah, on that last one, I don't know if he was going for Trevor Daniels or Brian Garner.
They got almost 5 wides here, 3 to the top, 2 down to the bottom. Back to step, rolling outside, sets, throws off the back foot.
That's a dangerous one.
That's up there.
Oh, what a hit. What a hit.
Yeah.
Hey, that was Rackley again making plays. I mean, hey, that's, as a quarterback, that's what you hope your wide receiver will do when you throw something up that you shouldn't. You hope at least they'll knock it down, because, that could have been bad. That would have been a bad field position switch.
Oh, yeah, that was some good defense. That's where they talk about where the receiver turns in, and that was Rackley. Is that what you're saying?
Rackley,
there we go. Let's hand it to him. That's where a receiver turns into a defensive back. He needed to make that hit, and that was one of those things where he couldn't go up and break the ball out. He couldn't knock the ball down. He had to deliver a forceful blow sufficiently tough to knock the ball out from the grasp of the receiver.
Yeah, a lot of times in that situation, if you're playing quarterback, if you are going to throw something up, throw it. You want to throw it like 30, 40, 50 yards, because then at least if it's intercepted, it's basically a punt. Whereas, you throw it short like that, it can be pretty bad. There you go.
Got a lucky bounce on that. It hit into the turf, bounced back just to the short side of the 50-yard line.
Yeah, it looks like maybe the 49, 50, somewhere in there.
Well, actually, it's not very short at all. In fact, it's right on the 50-yard line. There we go. So here we go. 3:45 left to go in the first quarter.
It's actually been a pretty good game. I mean,
been a great game.
Especially for preseason, there's going to be like the little things they're going to have to iron out. But, I mean, I think both teams have kind of had some chances. I think for the Nighthawks, there's just a few mistakes that have happened along the way that kind of like pushed their drives back, and they would have had momentum, but it's a lot of that little attention to detail that's kind of hurting them. But.
Okay, the Sabres are out here. We got 4 wides, 3 to the bottom. Quarterback with the back set alongside of him. He's talking to the running back, says, hey, you know what? We're going to check up this formation. They're showing blitz on the defense. Here he comes. A lot of people coming. Handoff inside. You break it on the blitz, and you can run and go. Hard hit. Runs over. He's still on his feet. This is the kind of action that can fire up a team, especially a new team that does not expect to really be able to hang as well. Maybe I shouldn't be saying that, but this is one hard run. Run that one more time if you can. This is how you destroy a blitz. They blitzed at him, and the thing is, the blitzer comes usually from the second level. You break through right there, as you see on the replay. He breaks through from the second level, and then he says, hello. He's ramming and jamming. This is the type of thing that can turn a game into the offense's favor. All right, here we go. Trips to the top. Handoff inside, breaks it out, and that's the type of thing that can destroy the momentum.
Oh, get the ball!
It's still there.
I don't think that is crazy.
Just when things were going in the right way. Now here's the deal, though, right? We got a new team. That's for the Sabres. Tacoma. That's the brown-shirted young men out there, and young men. Yeah, there we go. And now, how do they recover from adversity? Yeah. That's a good idea.
That was crazy though, because nobody seemed to be going for the ball. Like the ball was actually just sitting at the end. It's just sitting there. I wasn't sure who was going to recover it. I'm like, somebody needs to jump on it. But I think did they get it back? Wow.
They did.
They got it back. That's amazing.
Oh, I'll be darned. So now it's second and forever, as they say. Now, so what that tells you is that the Nighthawks never had possession, because this is one of those cases where had the Nighthawks got possession, then fumbled it again, it would be first down. Right. So they got a ton of yards. Trips down here. They got to be running some type of play pattern, pass patterns down here to the bottom of your screen. There's a snap. He's looking left, rolling right. Got a guy open, number 2 in the middle. Just doesn't have enough time. Starts running. Turns back. He's got some blockers to the left. Break outside to the big man. The big man's inside. Hello. Drops a shoulder and rips through this, known as dip and rip. And we just got to see that one again. My goodness gracious, as an offensive line coach, I want you to watch this quarterback. He's going to show some blockers how to throw a block. Watch him come up here. He's going to dip and rip. Hello! My goodness gracious. That might be one of the best. Can we see that again just because of the glorious dip and rip? Lower, explode up into the defender as he comes up. And this is one thing, and then I'll be done here. Right before you get hit, running backs accelerate. Accelerate into them. One more time, Chip. Can we see that one more time? Holy mackerel.
That's one of those things, though, as a coach, you don't necessarily want to see your quarterback.
No, slow it down. Now slow it down.
But it was a great
Slow
hit.
it down. Watch this. Watch this. Oh, man.
But the thing is, though.
Oh, no, there's a thing.
To the defender's credit, that was still a great
He held
tackle.
on. Yeah.
Because he did not let him run through. He held on, and he took him all the way to the ground. He only gained just a touch, and so that
it
that
might
was
depend
big.
on your definition of run through, but yes, he held on.
Yeah.
He held on. Trips to the bottom. Here we go. A big play. That was a big play, and they still got 15 yards to go for the first down. It's third down. They're going to have to go for it. Sets back, takes off running.
You go.
I think he's got some confidence. Cuts to the left. Stays in behind the block.
There you go.
And I tell you what, number 4, Blake Yoakum, we can see that again. This is a deal where a big, hard-running quarterback is able to pick up the needed yards, because up to the top of your screen, see the receiver up there? Number 4, Blake Yoakum. Look, get into this guy. Stay on the guy enough to let the quarterback get into the 5-yard line.
Yeah, he's trying to be careful not to get that holding, but if he could have just pushed him a little more out of the way, that would have been big. But, I mean, once again, number 41's out there making tackles, keeping it at least from getting any bigger. And, I mean, he's a cornerback, so you don't necessarily expect him to make all those kind of plays.
3 down here to the bottom. Hand off inside. Why not? Hand it to the guy jamming upside. And is it? I don't see the – yes, it is. Touchdown. Tacoma Sabers. The very first touchdown of their young existence. First touchdown in the first game, and they take it against, and you know this because you were a part of championship teams on the Nighthawks. What do you think the Nighthawks are feeling right now?
I think for any time, it definitely hurts anytime somebody scores first on you. But I mean, it's still such an early game. I don't think it's it's the first quarter. So
It's the first quarter.
You know, I think for a championship team, you're not going to lose your composure.
And I want to apologize to the listeners. Our guru in the booth came in and turned down my mic a little bit. So thank you there, Chip.
But yeah, no, there's been some exciting plays. I mean, I think for their team, there's a lot of good things they have going on, and they look like they could be definitely formidable. It will be interesting though to see how they play the rest of the game, because one of the biggest things, especially for a young team, is you don't want to get too excited, especially when you have early success. Because you have to recognize, for one, the Nighthawks are still kind of brushing off some of that rust and, you know, all that from being off, you know, for so long. And on top of that, it's so early. Football is a game of momentum. So it could be just a little something that happens at some point, but the momentum can swing at any moment. So as a young team, it's really – it's so easy to get really excited, but can you stay focused? Because the veteran teams like the Nighthawks – if you don't stay focused, they will catch on to that, and as soon as there's an opening, they will exploit it. So.
Yeah, I tell you what, though, I think those Nighthawks have to be questioning what the heck is going on here, because I have some quotes that I've been saving. I talked to the people before the game, to the coaches. Mm-hmm. Now, one of our favorite people on all the years we've been broadcasting here is Tutu. That's his name. He's a coach there for the SouthSound Nighthawks. I don't think he was there when you were there, but one of the most successful coaches in all of amateur football here in the Northwest. For years, he was the Puyallup Kings head coach.
Yes.
Lost one game ever, and you remember the Kings?
Yeah. We managed to beat them 1 year. That was the year we actually rematched them in the championship, and they beat us. But yeah, no, the Kings were a bit of a dynasty, and they were talented. They were really talented.
Yeah. All right, so here we go, kicking off, and the Nighthawks are going to say, we better get something going. Because I talked to Tutu before the game, and we'll talk about this. So we got deep. Short kick, catches it on the run, breaks to the left towards us, turns it up, gets what he can. That's a smart thing right there. I always like that when you're starting to run out of the play. When the play's about to go over, get over, turn it up. And this is one thing also, accelerate into the hit. That's what this running back did, and that's a good thing with momentum. Right before you hit, you got nowhere to go. Accelerate into it, and that will actually transfer the force into the defender. You actually, as a running back, get hits less harder if at the last step, the last twitch, you accelerate into them.
It does help. It actually, like, people don't realize, but
they don't.
If you do it, if you're coming at a fast enough momentum, a lot of times if you shift your body just right, you can actually use it to bounce off of people as well. So you can kind of absorb the hit, shift, and keep going upfield. So definitely, the last thing you want to do is slow down so they can hit you harder.
Well, and one of the things, too, this is where the offense does have an advantage, because the defender, at that last moment, he has to square up a little bit, because he's got to be worried that the offensive ball carrier can cut, right? He can always make a cut, and that last step that would either be a quick cut, right or left, can also be the dip and rip into the ball carrier. All right, here we go. 1st and 5 because of the penalty. Quarterback looking over, under center now, old school, single back. 2 guys at the top, 2 down here on the short side of the field, looking right all the way, and that was...
Oh, no.
That wasn't a pick six.
Oh, you got to see that.
Oh, are you kidding me? These guys are sky high already, because this is earlier in the season, early in their existence. You pick 6 against a big-time team like the Nighthawks.
Yeah, that's
Now, is this telling us the Nighthawks maybe? Well, wait a minute. Right, we got just under a minute to go in the first quarter of the first game of the season. But are you questioning maybe the Nighthawks aren't who they think they were?
I don't know. I think the Nighthawks they're loaded with talent. So I think it as a quarterback, you're going to get these situations where, especially early on, you got to figure out your players.
Okay, we got trips or double to the top.
Oh, there you go.
And he was going there all the way, splits in between
He held on,
the two
though.
defenders.
Awesome. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I mean, you got to kind of have a short memory. So, Trevor Daniels on that one, good catch, and he's explosive. See, that's the one thing with the Nighthawks is that you can't count them out, because the one thing about their team is they have a lot of explosive players. So they may make some mistakes along the way, but once they start clicking, if you give them space, they can make you pay big time.
First down, just over midfield. Here we go. 4 wides, 3 down here. Single back under center. Looking to the right, points to where he wants people to set. Come back, hands off inside. Fake, rolls out. He's got wide open. Footing for the block. Turning upfield.
Good block.
Couple of good blocks there. And on that one, as the quarterback comes out, he knows he's not going to throw. He could have. He decided not to throw. Look at him point. I'm not going to throw it.
Did they throw a flag on that? I think they might have thrown a flag on Garner on that one. Yeah, they threw a flag.
Well, that was one heck of a play, and bringing it back.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I was kind of wondering about that, because at the last minute, and that as a quarterback, that is that's always kind of deflating, because especially when you run out and get a big run and then it goes all the way back, you're like, I just spent all that energy, At least he did not take a big hit, because that's the most deflating. You take a big hit and you think you got the first down, and you find out, we're going 10 yards back.
Well, we're going to find out what the call is. Block in the back, is that right?
Yeah.
Terry Simmons is the official there with the white hat, winds the clock. Yeah, that hurts you.
Yeah, you can kind of see it. I think they called Garner on that one, because he was kind of trying to get in the way of one of the players, but just didn't have position. I don't know if I love the call, but it is what it is. So it's like they're calling a timeout. Yeah,
that's
that's the end of the quarter. There you go.
End of the quarter. And
flipping it.
In not quite stunning, but in a very unexpected situation. The brand new Tacoma Sabers are up 7-0 over the long-time Austin championship SouthSound Nighthawks. And let me jump in on this one right here. So Tutu, our wonderful friend for C-Game Live, the coach for a long time for the Puyallup Nation Kings.
Yeah. I'm
talking to him before the game, and he's saying, well, we want to be consistent on our level. We want to have fun, stay level-headed. That's all the things coaches are supposed to say, right?
Yeah.
And then he says, he looks at me and he goes, we're not overconfident. And the way he said it, it was like, he said it in a way that, we're pretty confident we're going to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
So I filed that away. He really made it a point that he wanted his players to realize that they, don't really know what they're coming up against. These are new guys. Some of them have been around, played for the Lions and other teams in the league, as you have mentioned. Mm-hmm. But also, they better be ready to play football, because you don't know what's going to hit you when you've never seen them play.
Yeah, and I mean,
who expected it to be this good?
Yeah, and I mean, look at they came prepared. I mean, they brought a lot of players. I mean, both sides, so
they got good numbers.
Ready. Yeah. It's definitely not like makeshift.
Now look at this. We got old school I formation, maybe offset fullback, hands it off with a quick dive up the middle. Keeps churning. He's driving in there. That's some good hard yards right there. I formation, handoff quick to the inside on the fullback. And that's a team that maybe has some confidence. They're saying, let's just run the ball at these young upstart whippersnappers and jam it on into the end zone.
Yeah, I believe that was Corwin. I couldn't exactly catch the number, but they I think they want to kind of get this run game established from the looks of it.
That's
penalty.
Illegal substitution.
Yep.
They had an extra guy running off there a little late.
Again.
Sends it back. What is it? 2 steps forward, 1 step back?
Yeah, that hurts. That hurts, especially when you're trying to get some momentum penalties. And that's kind of been, so far, kind of the thing that's held the Nighthawks back. They've been able to make some plays, but there's these little penalties here and there that they've kind of had on drives that whenever they start moving the ball, it's like a little penalty here, a little penalty there, and it puts them so far back, and they're playing pretty much behind the sticks for most of their possession. So
and that's exactly what they talk about, your early season games. You make these little mistakes. Look at the two guys at the top. Got the one running back under center again. Two people down here closest to the screen looking right all the way, rolling out, gets outside the contain. No, he doesn't. Goes back.
Oh, no. You don't want that.
And throws the ball. That could be an additional penalty.
Hopefully they don't look like they're getting called for it. But, yeah, you gotta keep your composure. But he was kind of mad about that. It was great coverage. Like, they had the wide receivers were pretty much just locked up.
Yeah.
They tried to, like,
let's
a
see
double
that again,
slant
because
on
I'm
the
kind of
bottom.
wondering what happened on there. It looked like he was rolling.
Yeah, well, you could see that they did a double slant on the bottom of the screen. And so, like, when you're running those double slants with the way they were just sitting on them, like, you couldn't throw it. So he pretty much, as soon as he rolled out, he wanted to throw it that way. He saw nothing. He's like, okay, let me try to scramble and run for it. And they were all over that. They just stepped up on him.
Yeah, gee whiz. That's one of those where you wish you could throw it away, but, when they're on you in your face like that, you do have to be a little worried about putting the ball up at all. Lots of times, you know what they say, just take the sack. And now we are 3rd and 35.
It looks like 27.
Well, one of those. Yeah, 27, yeah. Looking left all the way. Got a guy open in the middle.
Oh, no. Oof.
And, we see that. There's also been, think about that, a few times when the Sabre receivers, 3 times at least, where they've gotten open deep. One time not as open as I suggested, but still they were there. And now you drop a easy pick.
I think that's his second. That's Netzer's second, because he had the pick that would have been that quick throw that would have been a pick 6. That was the same guy. I'm pretty positive. So that's like his second drop. He should have 2 picks and probably 1 pick 6 so far. He's been there to make the play.
And this is going to sound weird, but that's got to make you feel good, right? Your first team as an organization, and holy moly, you just quit making mistakes, and this score would be way more than just 7 points. Okay, you're going to punt for forever. Fumbles the ball. He's got to run. He's going to throw it now. That would be huge.
Wow.
Now the question is...
no, I don't think they got the first down, but that was still a big play.
That was a big play, but the question is, were they any linemen downfield?
Oh, I don't know. Did they throw the...
Yeah, well, if they didn't throw the flag, then I'm not going to suggest that they should have. But that often is what happens when you have someone scramble on the punt.
And it wasn't designed, yeah.
If it's not designed, at what point, if you are on the punting team and you see your punter scrambling, at what point do you say, okay, I'm going to run down and block, right? You don't necessarily expect them to throw the ball. Yeah. And now I'm talking about a penalty that was not called. So here we go. Hey, it's time again to make a big momentum shift here for the brand new Sabres.
The Nighthawks need to make a big play on defense at this point, because their offense kind of needs – it's like you kind of – sometimes you get into run on offense and you just need that little extra boost from your defense, and that's when you need the defense to make a play. Get something to switch the momentum.
Well, they're showing blitz. Got trips down here to the bottom. Handoff inside.
That was nice.
Right into the center of the defense. I don't think that was the blitzer, but that was we saw earlier when they showed blitz and the running back. Again, if you can run at a blitz and break through, the blitzer comes from your second or third level. That can be a big gain. That maybe is what they were trying to do there. To no avail, 2nd and 12.
Yeah, Ryan Blowers, he got Lord just pretty much blew it up, and that's what you want to do as a D lineman. You want to get that penetration, and if you can consistently do that, they don't even have to worry as much about blitzing.
See how we got 4 wides, 2 down here, 2 to the top of your screen. Got the back in there for protection. He's staying in for max protection. Steps back, looks right, throws it.
There you go. That's what they needed. That is what they needed. And it looks like Cody is back on the field, so that's good to see.
It's going to be top of the screen.
He just, tried to force it in there, but.
Yeah, it looked like he might have been open a little bit. And the defender certainly went to, as they say, the highest point. The defender had to elevate to get to the ball. A little more air on that, and the defender might not have got there. But as you were saying, this is what they need. Okay, so now is the time to put the young whippersnappers, and by whippersnappers I mean Sabres, put them in their place and show them who the big guys are. Big boys, actually, was the quote that I heard before the game from some of the Nighthawks.
Yep, and that's like I was saying, that's really what they needed, is the Nighthawks needed to have a play for their defense. So now they potentially got the momentum. It's on the offense to capitalize on this. They have a short field, so they need a big play.
Okay, we got trips down here, one to the top, but the slot receiver's been looking at the quarterback. He throws the block, cuts inside. Now that's the bubble screen, and that's how it's supposed to be run. That was a little communication, interesting communication by the slot receiver with the quarterback. Then the slot receiver went down through the block. The wide receiver came back, caught the ball, and it was for a big gain. Go ahead and run that again if you could, Chip. So what do you see here?
Well, the big thing was, you had your tight end coming in, and it was actually smart design. Their tight end came in and got that block down below, so it kind of opened him up. But Day is extremely dangerous at wide receiver. This guy is a playmaker, so I'm kind of surprised it actually took this long for them to kind of get the ball into his hands.
And what number was that?
Number 11.
Number 11, Day, one of their big-time receivers.
Oh, yeah, and the screen, a little bit dangerous. Did not handle it.
Well, that's the old middle screen, and if it works, that's nice. One of the things what they do with that is that's to slow down the rush inside. Also, if they hope that the middle linebacker is going to be blitzing, that's a killer. The middle screen, if the backer is blitzing, there's no one back there to pick up the running back, except they weren't able to connect on that.
Yeah, it looked like they tried to just kind of dump it to DeWalt, and he almost had it. Just kind of bobbled it a bit, and it might have been just as well because it looked like the defense was kind of ready to close in and kind of pounce on him.
So 2nd and 10, 3 receivers to the top, coming under center again. Single back. Plenty of room up to the top of the screen. Roll to the left. He gets outside the contain, sets his feet, gets hit as he shots.
Oh,
the receiver,
there you go. Day
comes
again.
Back.
Day again. That's just too easy.
That was sweet. And that's it. Watch the receiver come back to the quarterback. Quarterback scrambling. Yeah. The receiver breaks off his route and comes back inside. He was well covered early on.
Oh, yeah.
Then breaks out. Oh, and there is another block. Let's see that again. Who's that? I'm asking you. Who's the receiver that threw the block at the end of the play? Here he is. Receiver's got the ball. Cuts up. Look at this block right there. That's the touchdown.
I want to say that was Trevor Daniels. I could be wrong. But,
and we talk about this all the time. When you see a big special play like that, especially with the receivers downfield, lots of time the play is made by the receiver that doesn't have the ball. Rather comes back, works hard, and throws a block downfield.
Yeah, and I mean, to be honest, I'm actually surprised that they haven't gone to Day sooner because, I mean, he's a big part of their offense, and he can make plays like that. I mean, the pass wasn't maybe the most advisable throw, but if you put the ball up in the air for your playmakers to make plays, he came back to the ball, he got it at his highest point, and, the rest is a touchdown.
Deshaun Delgado is Day.
Yeah.
Hand off inside, cut left, drives upfield, keeps driving. Nice long gain there. Running hard, running inside, and he's still able to get up and gain close to 10 yards.
Was that not a touchdown? I wonder if they called a penalty.
No. I think that's that. He didn't. I don't think he made it all the way in there. See, they got the dang soccer lines out there, which is why they shouldn't allow soccer lines on the football field. It's just too confusing. But now Deshaun Day Salgado, I didn't know you were saying it was Deshaun. He's an old guy from the Puyallup Kings.
Correct.
We know him well. Okay, quick handoff, slide to the outside. No question about that. Heyman for the cone there. The pylon used to be a cone, showing my age.
That was actually dangerous because the last thing you want to do is fumble into the end zone because that's a touchback and it goes back to the other team. Fortunately, he was out of bounds. So.
Within inches, right? Within inches. If it had been 4-6 inches further downfield, closer to the end zone, as you say, it's correct. It's kind of a weird rule. If you fumble into the end zone and it goes out, it's the other team's ball on the 20.
Correct.
Okay, so make a prediction on the plays down here to the right. Split 2 to the right, full house backfield. He's got a chance to hand up. No, it's just going to be a quarterback sneak.
Yep.
That's what I would have called.
Oh, did he get it?
Oh, yeah. Good surge. Let's see that again. I want to give credit to the surging big man on the line, and that's what it was. Quarterback's just running there. You see a pile, and when you see a pile of humanity and it's 3 yards into the end zone, that's a pretty good sign that the quarterback sneak was successful.
Yeah, and I think they kind of threw a little curveball having Garner in the backfield. It kind of was like, well, what is he doing back there? I think they were doing that intentionally because putting your wide receiver in the backfield doesn't seem to make sense. I think they just wanted to distract the defense enough to do that quick snap and quarterback sneak it in, which worked to perfection.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think you have an illegal substitution.
Oof.
Yeah, the guy they had a Nighthawk running off the field.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, too. And with the way the rules in this league work, you need to make sure that you don't get into the huddle with too many people, because at that point, basically, you're going to get a penalty.
Right.
So a lot of times it is on, and it's tough because sometimes, if you don't have the right personnel coming in as a quarterback or whoever's in charge of the huddle, you might not realize it until, you've already broken the huddle, and then it's like, oh, no, we have one too many guys, and sure enough, you're going to get penalized every time.
Well, the extra point was good. He had some pressure on him. Came off of the edge, but was not able to get there quite in time. 10 minutes and 53 seconds left to go into the second quarter, and it's all tied up. 7 for the Nighthawks and 7 for the upstart Sabres. And it took almost 20 minutes for the Nighthawks to catch up to the Sabres. That is not what people were expecting at the beginning of the game.
True, but it's one of those things where that last possession they scored pretty fast, and that's the one thing that kind of makes the difference. Is you don't want to have if you're going to try to beat the Nighthawks, you want to have as few turnovers as possible, and like having a turnover where they did, throwing that quick pick, that definitely hurt. That definitely, you could feel the momentum shift.
There was, yeah.
I'll be curious to see what they do now.
Yeah, me too. That's a good point, because when you, again, I guess maybe we're belaboring this point a bit, but when you have a team that's never played a game, again, as you pointed out, some of these Sabre players have played around the league. But that's right. I mean, they get that quick momentum change. You saw how the sidelines for the Sabres was enthusiastic when they took the quick early lead that I don't think anyone expected them to do. And then again, the steady, hard-working, down the field. The Nighthawks come back, score, tie the game up. Now is the time. Let's see what those Sabres are made of.
Yeah.
This is going to be a big series right here. I'm getting excited on this. Takes the ball at about the 5, heading right up the field, cuts outside, sets the feet, plants back inside.
Ooh.
Oh, man. He took one heck fire of a shot there, but you know what? That's 25 yards. Anytime you get more than 20 yards on the kickoff, that's pretty good. I also liked, you see that cut. Let's see that again if we can. Right before he get annihilated, watch him come upfield, running straight, but look him make this. This is one heck of a tough cut to the inside there. Stops, comes back outside, accelerates. That's a real good footwork.
Yeah, Harris.
Right? Oh, however, what were we talking about earlier? Like when you're running out of room and you're a running back, what should you do right before you get hit?
Oh man,
Accelerate.
At that point he couldn't. But Harris made a nice return. I want to say that was Vika that delivered that hit. I could be wrong though. Could not see the number.
Yeah, the numbers are kind of tough to pick out from up here. But you know what? I wish we would see that one, because that was the type of hit that comes from a player that you think is going to be around the ball.
Yeah. Now it would be interesting to see, because Zach Nixon, who was the quarterback last possession, they switched quarterbacks.
Okay, shotgun. He hands off inside, just breaking right all the way to the left towards us here in the booth. What you saw was there were double receivers down on our side, and they just ran off. The idea is if you can get outside of the run contain, which is primary contain, often defensive end or outside linebacker. If you can run the defensive backs off, is what they did there, you can maybe turn the running back up to the outside. right there, he didn't get a whole lot, but he still made 5 yards. And anytime you can get 5 yards on first down, you're
huge.
in much better position for the next play.
Yeah, 4 or 5 yards. That's really what you want on the first down run play. So, I mean, he's been running actually nice all
Okay, look at this. We got trips to the top. One receiver down here. A single back set with the quarterback. Ready for the ball. Sets. Hands off inside. Makes the outside move with the quarterback. The running back stays inside. Keeps charging. Man, he's just driving and slamming those feet. Right way after he was bound up by the defense, he just kept punishing, driving forward. Picked up 3 tough yards there.
Yeah, and I might be saying the name wrong, but Inoka has been really doing a great job at running back, and he's doing what you want to see from your running back. You want him to hit the holes, even if it's not necessarily a big gain every time. It's that slow build up. I mean, over time, defenders don't like getting hit constantly, and if you are coming full steam at them, that's how you get them to kind of wear down over time. Let's see what Nixon does.
Third down.
Oh,
Able to pull them off.
smart.
That's going to be an easy first down.
Smart.
And that is smart. That's what you do, where you don't do a quick count, or you don't do, a delayed count or a hard count. You wait until you have less than 5 for a first down.
Yeah, and they could see that Nighthawks kind of been flying to the ball, so they're like, hey, let's see if we can get them to go offside. They only needed 3 yards. They got 5, so.
Yeah.
That was a good decision from the coaching staff.
Yeah, and you can tell also the defense is getting fired up, right? They're getting ready to try to shut down this drive and shut down the Sabres. All right, here we go. 1st and 10. Ball on the 37-yard line. Look at the 3 receivers to the top. The quarterback in the shotgun with the single back set to protect him. He's looking to the right. Got a single receiver down here to the bottom. Ready? Snap. Tried it again. See his hands? Tried it again. Tried to pull him off. He's looking left. He decides to run.
And looks like he's going down.
Yeah, he's going to lose some yards there. If you're going to lose yards, it's best to do it on first down. But I don't think that was a called run. I think what happened was he saw some coverage. He saw some outside contain rush and hit it on up.
Well, the thing is, I think he had some people open downfield, but, it's one of the biggest things is, especially if, your first pass you throw is an interception, it's going to be in the back. A lot of times it will be in the back of your head the next time you have an opportunity to pass. And that's the second pass play he's actually had called for him. So I think he might have kind of hesitated and not trusted himself. And so he's going to have to kind of get past that. Because his guys, he's going to get some openings.
Okay, they're showing the blitz here up to the left of the line. They back out. He's looking right, steps into the throw, and he's got a guy on the 50-yard line. And that's enough for a first down.
Yep, Cody Martinez. Yeah, they wrapped up his ankle when he went to the sidelines, and he's looked like he's moving around. He's fine now. So that was a good decision, a smart throw, and he put it in there right where you want it. So. That was well done.
That was good execution.
Definitely.
And so the Tacoma Sabers are on the march. We got a tied-up game, and they always talk about you can't let a team that is the underdog, can't let them stay in the game, right? Because at the end of the game, it could just come down to luck. And so it's about time, and you drive on down there, put it in there. We got 7:10 to go. This is a big drive. We got 2 to the top, 2 down here to the bottom. Quarterback resets the running back, probably looking for the person coming off the edge possibly. Motion across, fly sweep, cuts up, turns, sees a little bit of room, cuts up, keeps going.
Still going.
Stays on there. What? Are you kidding me?
Wow. Impressive.
Because, yes, I was about to say minimal gain. I almost did say minimal gain, and that would have been a minimal mistake. I'm not sure those words go together. Let's see that again. Look at this. He's not a big guy either.
Cody is – no, he's not, but he's a playmaker, and he will, he'll fight.
Let's see it again. What can he do?
And he can fight. Fight. And
look at that quick move there.
Yeah.
Look, he's still up.
And I think that's going to be one of the things that the coaching staff for the Nighthawks is
Let me jump in here real
at.
quick. Now, one of the things, look at his other players. Some of those guys should not have stopped. You got a couple of guys around him, but they're new. Right? Their first game. But you watch these videos, guys, and you keep fighting because your running back's still running. they could have broke a few more yards. Okay, motion across, trips to the top, hands off inside. They liked him running before, so they give it to him again.
One of the other things with that, especially like that last play, is you could see, and I think the coaching staff for the Nighthawks will kind of go back and look at that, but one of the reasons why Cody was able to get so far afield was the defenders also stopped. Like, they basically thought their one guy had it, and so nobody comes in and crashes. Normally on defense, when you have one guy that's kind of slowing down the offensive player, you should see a dog pile. Everybody should converge and just hit them and make sure if you decide to stay up on offense, you're going to get punished for it because you want to set that precedent. And then you make sure, then people will be less likely to stay up and try to fight for those extra yards.
I'm going to say those offensive linemen should have kept running to the ball. Okay, here we go. Looking right, turns to the left, got the guy wide open. Oh, there's a broken in there.
It's
it
racked.
is.
Is that a? Yep, that is Klingberg. That's Klingberg. He is fast. He is fast.
Let's see it. Look at, you know what, on the monitor I can see his number. What number was that? Okay,
number
to
11.
the top
That
of the
was
screen,
Klingberg.
and he just gets separation. He's just
He's
separated.
just fast. He is killing them.
Wow. Let's see that one more. Corey Klingberg. Steps back. Watch the corner. We'll see this one more time. That's a great run. There you go. Take it down the field, but run it one more time if we can see the quarterback step into the pocket.
It was a great throw. He did it.
But also the thing was he was willing to step into the rush, right? Lots of times when you're getting hammered, you're going to try to bail out. He didn't. He took the contain rushers around him, stepped up into it. Extra point is good, and we got us one heck of a football game to start the season off.
Yeah. Well, you know, one of the things I have to hand it to Craig and kind of like how this offense has been playing, because one of the interesting things that we've seen so far from the Sabres is they're running a lot of trip sets and a lot of shotgun with trips. And I really like that formation because what it kind of does is it forces the defense a lot of times to show what they're doing, whether they're in zone or man, and it kind of spreads them out. Because one of the things that they keep doing, especially with Klingberg, is they'll put trips on the opposite side of him to basically isolate him. And so they're a lot of times only having a single safety high for the Nighthawks. And so if they can pull that safety a little bit off, Klingberg basically just has to beat his guy one-on-one, and he can do that every play. And so they've done that several times, and so far it's worked to perfection.
Expound on that just a bit. So the trips, what that makes the defensive backfield rotate over there, and that reduces the coverage to the opposite side?
Yeah, a lot of times it depends on how they're playing it, whether they're playing in man or zone. But definitely if they're doing man, then it's going to, even if they have a safety up there, it's usually going to pull one of those safeties. Either it's going to pull a safety down or it's going to pull one of the linebackers out. But either way, it looks like with the way they're mostly playing the trip set, they're a lot of times showing a single high safety look. And when you have a single high, the safety's got to pick which side he's going to basically go. And they're using that to the advantage because with all those receivers on the other side of the field, it keeps isolating Klingberg. I mean, at this point, they might want to consider doubling him when they see trips to make sure that he doesn't get out and having the safety kind of shade over to him. But we'll be kind of curious to see what they do to adjust.
For our viewers, Klingberg is number 11. Corey Klingberg, number 11. So that's something that you guys can just watch it out. This is great because I'm a line guy. You're the quarterback, and this is good. We're getting all kinds of the backfield coverages.
Yeah.
So here we go. Okay, 5 minutes and a few ticks left in the first half of the first game of the first season for the Sabres. What do you think is going through the Nighthawks' mind as they set back to receive this kickoff?
I think they're looking to make a play, I think, more than anything else. And looking to kind of keep – because, I mean, let's not forget, they did just have a successful drive. So
yes.
As long as they keep up that momentum, I think they'll be in good shape.
Short kick, takes it about the 15, cuts up, then cuts out towards the right sideline. He trips up. It looked like he may have had a bit more real estate to go, but his feet got tangled up. And probably because of a defender, I didn't actually see the person that knocked him down.
Well, and that's the thing with I believe with the way their league does it now, they go by those college high school rules. So generally, if as soon as you touch the ground, it's dead ball, as opposed to like the NFL rules where you can get back up and keep running. Because I'm pretty sure he tripped on his own player's foot, and he could have potentially got back up and kept going. Yeah, but it's like the rules aren't like that anymore.
That's a good point, because I actually did talk to the officials before the game, because there's been an amalgam of rules in the past, pros, colleges, and the officials said that they have gone now to the high school rules. Yeah. There are some exceptions, they said. But one of them, I specifically asked, if you fall down and you're not touched, can you get back up? Because in the past in this league, that's always been the rule.
Oh, yeah.
And they said, no, that's not allowed.
Yeah, it was a tough adjustment, because I know even last year they kind of did that. That's when it really started officiating, because they were tired of
rules.
They were tired of, because we used to mix so many rules, and so they got tired of it. Like, no, we normally do high school games. We want high school rules. It was a bit of adjustment for the players, but it worked out. Oh, and there you go. That is a good run right there.
That's a good, hard 10-yard run. They started off with 2 running backs in the backfield. That was kind of unusual for this game so far, out of the shotgun and 2 receivers to the top, and was able to hand it off inside and gain a big 10 yards. Now, that's the way to start off what could be the last drive of the first half when you're down by 7, trailing a team that should not really be in the lead if you're just talking about history and perceived talent of the players on the field right now.
Yeah, that was good hard running from Isaiah Corwin. I mean, pretty much that's what you want from your running back, and he executed it correctly. He hit the hole and got some good yards.
Okay, we got a shotgun. We got 2 backs, 2 down to the bottom, lead back to the left, and then the hands off to the back. They lined up to the right of the quarterback, and a good hustle penetration, solid on the primary run contained there to the right side of the Sabre line. That is what you want to do at a situation like this with just over 4 minutes to go and a 7-point lead against the championship team.
Yeah, 3-yard loss. I mean, they kind of read it. They read it, and they came flying to the ball, and that's what you want on defense is gang tackling. I mean, you don't want just one guy trying to make that tackle, maybe missing. And once one guy makes contact, everybody else needs to swarm and get them down. And that's what they did.
Break the huddle, come up the line. They got the 4 wide receivers, 2 to the top, 2 down here to the bottom of the screen, but they talked to each other, so there was some type of combination going on with these 2
it might be a quick pass.
Step back, he's looking off the slant right into the middle for a nice big, 12, 13-yard gain. Let's see that again, because those 2 receivers to the right of the formation were talking to each other.
Yeah, I believe that was Proctor right there.
There's the first down.
Yeah, and a lot of times, I mean, it's almost a giveaway in some cases, but generally when you're having that single back and they're spreading that way and he's under center, it works better for those quick slant throws.
The quick slant, there you go.
Yeah, because, I mean, pretty much when you're in shotgun, it takes a while for the ball to get there, so it's worse to do like a
quarterback's under center. Here got the single back, hands off, center back slams up into the inside, cuts to the right, turns it up, gets hit hard on the sideline, but that's a first down again.
The Walt, yep.
Another big play. We got flags all over the place.
Yeah, and Marshall Walt took that ball, and I'm curious if it was holding or they might have. It looks like Day-Day, they might have called him. Yeah, because you look at what he's doing with number 29. Yeah, I think that's who they called it on.
Okay, but we don't know. We don't actually know that that's the person they called it on.
Well, you could definitely see the jersey kind of separate from the chest. So, presumably. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's here. It's all right. If you're a lineman, an offensive lineman, you're presumed innocent.
Yeah.
Our receiver, that's a little different.
Well, yeah, no, but at the end of the day, that is what you want as a team. That's what you want from your wide receivers, is you want them to get physical and go down there and block, because for as few times really as they might get called for holding, there's so many other times where you're breaking big plays, and it's always because of that blocking downfield.
Okay, look at it. We got a stacked formation down here to the bottom, hands off to the left, cuts outside, breaks outside of the block on the defensive end, and is able to turn it up into a big gain. I want to call this out again. Number 11 for the Nighthawks, Deshaun Salgado.
Yes.
He was a big mover for the years when the Puyallup Nation Kings were winning national champions.
Oh, yeah.
And you call him Dady. I didn't realize that he was out here.
Yeah. No, he was a big part of their team last year in their championship. Like he's he's extremely talented, and he knows how to. And I mean, that's the thing. It's like, as we've seen earlier in the game, you just throw the ball up in the air, even if it's a bad pass, as long as it's in his vicinity, a lot of times he'll go up and get it. So, I mean, it's one of those things. Their run game, though, they finally have got that kind of going, and that's been big right now because I don't know if there was another penalty or
something happened out of bounds.
Yeah, because, I mean, that looked like that was almost the first down. At least nothing else. Some good yards. They might be coming back.
Oh, here we go. Personal foul. Gee whiz.
What did they do? Ow. Yeah, see, that is the one thing, and I'm very curious to see how they come out after halftime, because I think the coaches will probably get into them about it. But that's the one thing that has killed their drives on offense consistently. It's these fouls and penalties that have just taken them back.
And that kind of foul.
Yeah, they're moving the ball.
Right.
And it's looking like, oh, yeah, they're going to be able to score this drive. And then, boom, they get hit with a holding. They get hit with a personal foul. It's like, whatever it is, it takes them so far back. Playing that far from behind when you've made a penalty like that is so tough.
And those are such different. The yards are about the same, but those are such different penalties. Holding, I mean, sometimes, you know what? You get a holding call, and gee whiz, it just happens, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, as a defensive player, I didn't think it was quite like that, but when you got a personal foul, and especially when you are supposedly the superior team that's down by 7 points, and this could well be the last drive of the first half.
Yeah.
I would like to see what exactly transpired to make that penalty be called.
Yeah. Fortunately, it's only 1st and 15, so I'm guessing they gave him the first down.
Yeah, that's what happened. There's holding there. Oh, they didn't call that? Okay. Run that again there if you would, Chip. We can look over here to the right of the screen. You don't see it there.
Oh, that was a nice spin. That was a nice spin move.
Some good footwork there. We have, that's one thing we have seen, because less times those spins, you see people do those, and quite often they're not effective because you got to have, the balance, but also the quick feet, get back under control real quick, right? Because you make the spin. Once you come out of the spin, you got to have your base under you, be driving forward. That's a good point. They've had a couple of good spin moves.
Yeah, no, we've actually seen some really good things from DeWalt, and he's been moving. I mean, it'll be interesting. It looks like they just subbed him out, and we got Donnie coming back in. So I'll be kind of curious to see what he does. I'm assuming that that might actually be why they just made the substitution, to be honest. Is
what?
They might be going to a pass-heavy package, because it looks like, it's like we got 2 minutes and 2 seconds left. So at this point, running the ball.
Hold on.
Oh, is there another?
Dead ball foul.
Oh.
So what that means is after the play's over, somebody said something or did so. That's a dead ball foul. So that moves it back, and we're stopping the clock again.
Oh, I feel like they're just losing their composure right now. One of the things that can be really hard, especially in this kind of a situation, when you are the defending champions of your league and you're playing a team that is brand new, is you inevitably will get a level of kind of like cockiness and expectation that, we're the best, so this should be an easy win. Like, even if you say it's not, and even if you do all the right things, there's just a kind of mentality that it's almost inescapable, and it can be really easy to get frustrated when it turns out they're leading, they're actually playing good, and you're shooting your own self in the foot on top of that,
Okay, so there was a 2-minute warning. If we were just discussing what's high school and what's the pros, that might be the one, because the official did, when I talked to them before the game, said there were a few pro rules that they've added in, but most of it's going to be the high school, and just going about what you said. We love the Seahawks. We love the Seahawks also, but we love the Nighthawks, and we loved it when you were there. I mean, it's just, that's one of our favorite teams, But I got to go back to what then the one of the winningest coaches ever in this amateur area in all of the Northwest. That's 2-2. And he was saying, he just kept emphasizing we need to be consistent. Right before the game, he was telling me, we got to be consistent, play to our level.
Mm-hmm.
And, again, we're not overconfident. Okay, shotgun, single back, got 3 to the top. They're all up on the line. Hands off inside, breaks off to the left.
Takes it.
Good, solid defensive play there by the right defensive end, holds his ground, and then takes on the running back for no gain.
Like,
a bit of a game.
It'll be interesting because at this point, the Sabres should actually probably take a timeout because
where they are.
Their decision to run it kind of suggests that they're actually attempting to run out the clock, at least take as much time off as possible.
No, you're absolutely right.
It's 3rd and 19, so why not? Why not waste as much time? Because that's a hard one to convert. They might run it even again. I don't know. I'll be curious to see.
Well, but that to your point, are they going to throw it? An incomplete pass off the clock.
Looks like they might try it.
It sure does. Look at they spread them all out. No running back.
But they took a lot of time off the clock, which is the key.
Looking left all the way. He's open the middle.
Oh, wow.
There we
nice.
go. That's why you do it. Keeps going. He's still running.
Nice. That was
right
a great,
there.
Great
Look
throw.
What a complete change of momentum in the end of the first half, right?
Yeah.
We're talking, hey, defense, call timeout so you get the ball back.
Yeah.
Now, boom, everything changed.
Yep, and they got it right to Proctor. Like, he just ran. It wasn't a complicated route, but it was a great throw, good route. And
Trips down here. Look, no running back. Wide, 2 to the top, comes off the sideline. He's down.
Yep. Yep.
What a difference 2 plays make.
Oh, yeah.
Sets, he's got plenty of time.
Well, and that was smart because, basically they wasted down the clock just in case that 3rd down play didn't work. But because it did, they were able to move the ball far enough that they still got time left.
Yeah, all right. So, I tell you what, I'm not disagreeing with you because those coaches, that's some advanced play calling and scheming. Run it down a little bit because then if we don't get the 1st down, we won't give them enough time. Yeah. But let's still try to break a few big plays and get a 1st down.
Yeah, you never know. That's one. That's just really the fun thing about watching football and even playing it is that no matter how much you devise a plan per se, there's so many variables going on. Whether it's players being in the right position, the wrong position, missing a tackle, making a tackle, and anything can change in a moment with one split-second decision. So it's kind of fun. You can be in a bad position like 3rd and 19 and get a pass, boom, 1st down. Now they're in good position to score if they do play this right.
Oh, yeah, and that's a big we've been saying this a bit this first half, but that's a momentum changer. Mm-hmm. 47 seconds to go in the second half. Till halftime. I'm going to get this right. 47 seconds to go in the first half till halftime. So we got a shotgun, 2 to the top. Then we got a tight set down below to the right, over the middle. He's open, cuts back inside, turns it up. He's coming all the way to the right side, there on the corner. Did he get to the pylon?
No, looks like he got stopped.
That was a sweet run the whole way. Look at this. Yeah. Run, and it's run after catch.
Yeah.
Doop, doop, turns it up. And that's what you do, right? He sees that. He just gets what he can.
Yeah, it was a great play by Rackley. One of the nice things with what the quarterback did is he read the blitz because with how they have them spread out there with the 2 wides on both sides, that linebacker was spread wide, but he came on a blitz. So he knew immediately, dump it to Rackley. He's going to fill that hole, and it was an easy catch and just get as much rack as possible. Okay,
look we got 3 guys at the top of the field there. 1 running back, quarterback under center, and he's looking left before the play to hand it off inside, break it off to the right. Is the quarterback, the running back, the receiver getting the block?
Did he get in?
It was close. That was a good block there by the receiver on the far right. Let's see that again if we can. That was good hard work there by the receiver. You know what? The defense was able just to lateralize them.
Yeah.
The running backs moving, just keep them bouncing out, and they did stop them short of the goal line. Now, the play before,
made some plays.
When the running back, the person with the ball got close, he didn't reach out with the ball to try to touch the pylon. Mm-hmm. possibly the reason is it's early. You got several more plays. You don't want to fumble it.
Yeah. And they got Donnie in the backfield right now. Oh, we're
It's
going
a pinch.
Oh, smart. Think they got it. They get in. Quarterback sneak.
We have seen a sneak work earlier in the game, but there was a lot more surge then. If they got in here, it was just by the tip of the ball.
Yeah. Hey, well, I was there. This is a smart call.
I'm not seeing any.
That's anybody put it up?
I didn't see upraised arms.
Looks like the scoreboard operator put it up.
All right.
So
Well, if the
that's
scoreboard
what happened.
operator put it up there, then that's a touchdown.
Yeah, yeah. It's smart. I mean, if you can get that kind of push from the O-line, and that is credit to the O-line.
Yes,
I
it
mean,
is.
realistically speaking, people underrate how important the quality of your offensive line is and the difference it makes when you have good blocking.
Oh, yeah.
It's huge.
It's huge.
I know even for us last season, like the biggest thing was we had a great offensive line. Our center and other players were pretty much our guards, like even our tackles, like everybody did a great job blocking, and it makes it so much easier for the quarterback to actually step into throws and make plays. And you can see it that's been huge even with the Nighthawks, is once they kind of these little bobbles of the ball and penalties, once they kind of can get past that, if you give the quarterback time, I mean, he can make plays.
Oh, yeah. And the other thing, you keep the quarterback up off the ground. You're able to get the surge going. It makes so much difference when contact with your running back is happening downfield rather than at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
And, it's old school concept, but I'm into it completely. You win games with your line, and you score touchdowns with the offensive line.
No, that's very true.
I'm with you, and it's great hearing a quarterback say that. Because especially, too, the one thing we talked about this earlier, when you're talking about the passing game, the ability and the willingness of the quarterback to step up into the pocket. Mm-hmm. You gotta trust your offensive line to do that.
Yes. No, that is very true, and it makes a big difference. Like when you can have that trust because you know that they're gonna show up and do their job. And I mean, for the Nighthawks, he has 2 rushing touchdowns. So who would have guessed? But the O-line's getting that push, and it's quarterback sneaks working, so might as well keep with it.
And both on quarterback sneaks.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the kickoff. Going to take it down about the 3-yard line. Turn it back up. He's
like
got
Harris
some speed.
Again.
Cuts back to the inside. Cuts out. Gets back over the 30 to about the 31-yard line. We got 24 seconds. All right, we got a tied game. We have the upstart Tacoma Sabers with the lead most of the game. Now they're tied up. What do you do with the 24 seconds? And you are the Sabres. I mean, do you take the chance? Right, air it out?
No, I mean, to be absolutely honest with this, I'd probably kneel it. I mean, you're not in great position on the field, and one mistake could be huge.
Yes.
It's tough.
I don't disagree with you, but I'm going to go the other way, man. No, and he's not. He's agreeing with you, I think.
No, it looks like they're going to run a play. Probably, maybe a handoff. I don't think. Okay, nope, there it is. All right, so they are agreeing with me.
Okay.
Normally you would get that kind of like victory formation.
Yeah, where they got the running backs up close to them, and we see that.
Yeah, and the main reason they usually do that victory formation as opposed to kneeling off of that formation is primarily because at least if the ball was to somehow slip out, you have so many people around you that somebody's going to fall on it,
Right.
But
the only problem is if you remember here we are. We're at halftime. We're going to go talk about the victory formation there for a second. We're at halftime okay, hold on. I'm trying to see this. What was that?
Yeah, no, it should be hopefully it's going to be a good halftime. Like I'm looking forward to seeing how they come back. It's really interesting, especially when you have the opportunity to be on the players' side of things. There's so many different ways, depending on the coaching staff and the makeup of each different team. There's so many different ways that people kind of talk. Yeah, respond and even talk when you get into the locker room at halftime. So I'll be kind of curious it would be really fun to actually be in the locker room and kind of hear what the coaches are saying. Because, I mean, it's kind of almost a 0-0 game literally at this point because they're all tied up. Both teams have had some really good things happen out there, and both have kind of made some mistakes that have shot themselves in the foot. So I'll be kind of curious to see if you got a coach, are they gonna yell at their players? Are they gonna praise their players? Are they going to make, what adjustments are they going to make? What are they going to change people, what they're putting in, all those positions type stuff? That will be, I think, a lot of fun to see how that works out.
Yeah, I'm talking to the head coach for the Tacoma Sabers, and it was interesting what he said that he was really looking for, because I asked him, first game, what are you looking, what will make you feel good about what's happening out there on the field? And he said build culture, which was kind of an interesting thing to say. He wanted to build culture. He says that the team, he felt the team, although they hadn't played any games, he felt that they really had some special desires, like to be good people. I'm going, good people, how about go win the football game? But he mentioned that to me, build the culture. That's what they wanted. And he then went on further how the team is involved with a community outreach down there in Tacoma.
That's awesome.
In fact, the Tacoma feed apparently is like a food bank. He's having the players volunteer down there. So the very first game, I'm saying, what would you look for to make you feel that you guys are on the way, that things are really working out well? And he said, build team culture. I thought that was quite an answer. And I'll tell you what, 14-14 at halftime, you can't say you win when it's tied. Yeah. But if you're looking at this first half, which team do you think went out there and said, hey, we're playing good football, and what team is back then? And we love the Nighthawks, right? We love the Nighthawks. They've been a great asset to this amateur football. But those two, I'll bet you those two locker rooms have completely different attitudes at this point.
It's very possible. No, that's actually really awesome that, Tacoma Sabres are trying to get involved in their community.
In the community.
Yeah, and I think that's
food banks.
I think that's a good way to do it, I think, as far as an organization. I know even with the Nighthawks, they've done like different sponsored nights to try to like kind of get involved and give back to the community. And that's big, as I think it's just a program in general, like finding some way to like interact, and it can be a team building too, because I mean, I think one of the biggest things when it comes to building a good team atmosphere is putting together players that are not just in it for themselves, but have good character. And it definitely helps when you're surrounded by players with good character. That rubs off, and that a lot of times that helps lead you to winning championships. It's not just pure talent, because you can have a lot of pure talent and it be kind of a dysfunctional locker room, and it isn't going to work. And and it's like, it can be frustrating in those cases, because you're like, we have so much talent, but we can't seem to gel because of character. Yeah. So that I think it will be interesting though to see. I think for the Sabres, from what being that there wasn't a lot of expectations maybe outside of their own organization as far as how this game is going to go, I think they're probably, for most of the players, they're probably pretty excited. I mean, they've made some mistakes. Yeah, they made some mistakes, but they've scored on the Nighthawks. They put some pressure out there, and I think on the other end for the Nighthawks, I wouldn't be surprised if their coaching staff maybe kind of getting into them a little bit, because a lot of the little things that have kind of kept the Sabres in the game have been them shooting themselves in the foot, whether it's these penalties on offense that are really hurting them, unfortunately.
And some of them are dumb penalties.
Yeah, and some of the personal fouls even, it's just like, you're just like, whoa, what's going on? But I think if they can try to eliminate penalties and kind of cut those down, I think they will have a much better second half. And either way, it looks like we're in for a fun game. So that's kind of exciting too from a broadcasting standpoint, because it's like, as viewers and commentators, you kind of you don't necessarily want to see a complete blowout. You want to kind of see a little bit of back and forth. You want to see people competing and getting excited and kind of getting that thrilling conclusion, and hopefully we'll be in for that. We'll kind of see how it goes.
Well, we certainly have one heck of a big second half coming up.
Yeah.
And, obviously the score's tied, so how the second half comes out is how the game is going to end up, obviously. Mm-hmm. But even more than that, what is exciting, and you hit on it too, these are new boys. The young bucks are out here. We're talking about, of course, I'm talking about the Tacoma Sabers. Come out here, face up against a big, powerful, tough Nighthawk team. Now, we don't know if they're going to be that way this year, but I'm going to tell you something. I think I mentioned this before, but I had a conversation with some of the Nighthawks, and the comment was made, well, they're going to have to know how to play with the big boys. In fact, I want to put quotations around that. They got to play with the big boys. So you go in there into the Nighthawk locker room, having started off the game thinking we're going to show these upstarts how to play at this level, this type of football, and now you're in there and you had to come back to tie the game up. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. So what do you think is going to happen in the next half? We'll go both teams. First, let's start off. What do you see the Nighthawks doing to start off the game? And further, what do the Nighthawks need to do to pull this game out and win it?
It's going to – I mean, I think the biggest thing they need to do is really stop shooting themselves in the foot. Like, just the penalties, if they can get past the penalties, I think for the most part – there's been a few bad decisions on the pretty much like some of the throws that Wiley has made. They were fortunate they weren't picked, but for the most part, he's actually made some good decisions. So I think if he just trusts himself and trusts what he's seeing, I think he will be fine. On the flip side, when you're looking at what the Sabres have going, I think they just need to try to keep the momentum and keep doing what's working. Those trip sets, it's been – I think they'll work.
All right, I tell you what, I got a bunch to say, but I think it's time that we break to a commercial. And he was standing over there going, cut, cut, cut.
2916, your Kia Soul needs to be moved. It is parked in an emergency zone. Kia Soul BFU 2916, it needs to be moved or it will be moved for you.
Hey, we're back here at Sumner Stadium. We got one heck of a game going on between the SouthSound Nighthawks, the perennial champions, and the upstart Tacoma Sabers. They're out of the Pacific Northwest Football League. The Nighthawks, of course, are from the Northern Cascade Football League. And they're kicking off. The Sabres are receiving to start off. This could be a big opportunity. Drive it down the field, huh? We'll see how that goes. What are you looking for in the second half?
Well, I think I'm kind of curious to see how both teams kind of come out of the locker room. What's their mentality? And for the Nighthawks, I'm actually expecting to see some big plays on defense. I mean, we've seen a few for sure, but I'm expecting that they are ready to make some waves. So it's going to be exciting. I'm really kind of looking forward to seeing how this plays out.
Well, especially look at this. We have the Sabres taking the second half kickoff. Mm-hmm. They played pretty well in the first half, certainly better than expectations. But I'm with you on the Nighthawks. They are just a quality team. I think They maybe got a little, what would you say, a wake-up call there in the locker room. And so I'm going with you. I'm looking for the Nighthawks to really put something together here. There's the kickoff and
there's a whistle.
The whistle.
Well, yeah, a lot of times they kind of call this like a trap game, where a lot of times when you play a team and you may not expect them to be that good, they can kind of pop you in the mouth because you didn't see it coming. Like you kind of maybe sometimes you'll sleep on teams like that, and you're like no, we're good. Because I mean, especially when you've won a championship in your league, you just kind of expect next year you're just going to have an easy time repeating it. But that's always why it's harder, because when you play other teams, they're now bringing their A game because they are like, oh, these are the champs. Ready. Like this is their Super Bowl. So it's like, as the champs, you have to be ready for whatever they're going to bring at you.
So here we go, starting the second half of the first game. The Sabres are back to receive, and we're starting off
again.
Yeah, that's 2 whistles in a row, stopping the kick. Walking out, that was by the official on the near sidelines. He's looking there. Dead ball.
Yeah, they keep moving. That's hurting. Penalties are out the back. They're moving too soon.
Yeah, they're going across the line is the deal.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Offsides on kickoff, as you were alluding to, is where one of the coverage men on the kicking team crosses the line in front of the kicker. Now the deal is, see how close they start. These are the change of the rules to slow down the collisions, reduce the force. But he's still got to wait until he kicks the ball. Okay, third time.
Yeah, you'd almost think like in this league they might actually put in something like the XFL where, it's like everybody's nice and close. You minimize injuries that much more. But I'll be curious to see if any semi-pro teams do that this year.
Well, now, they don't have 5 men. The receiving team doesn't have 5 men up on the front line. Yeah, that's fine. Wow, nice kick. About the 10-yard line. Starts up easy. Breaks into the sprint, sees the gap, just pretty much runs straight up the hill, straight up the field. That is a nice return. That's a good way to open up the second half of the first year for the Sabres. So we got 14-14. This is a big series. That's a little early in the game to be talking about a must-make or must-break situation. But this is a big series. Let's see what they have. In the halftime, they got to be happy. They're not supposed to be holding on to the Nighthawks.
It's always kind of fun, too, with especially when you have a game this early in the year. I mean, the lights are on. You almost have like that Friday Night Lights feel to it. You know,
Chilly
it's like,
atmosphere.
yeah, it adds a little more excitement.
Quarterback's looking to the right a couple times, hands off inside. Running back slashes from the left of the quarterback inside. Quarterback comes running over to talk to the coach.
Yeah, it was a good run from Greer. And it looks like Nate is back in. So Nate Mace is back at quarterback now. I'm assuming they must be like trading off maybe every other quarter or something along those lines.
Yeah, he was depicted as the starter by the coaches before the game. He moves Nate, the quarterback, moves the running back off to the right side, two to the top, to the left, looking left all the way, steps up into the pocket. Oh, I think there's going to be a flag
face
there.
mask. There's a face mask. You could see it. Oh.
That's a big, powerful interior lineman for what's the call? For the Nighthawks was the big, powerful guy got in there from the Nighthawks. But number 40. What are they going to? That's what it is. Yeah, face mask.
Yeah.
They were having a little conversation. I was thinking that don't need to talk much about that one.
Yeah.
Was that number 40 on the tackle?
Yeah, Randy got him kind of across the face. One of those things.
Randy Pulitu. I'm going to start watching that guy because that was a good power. I mean, it's a face mask. You know what? It didn't seem like it was that flagrant or ill-tempered.
No,
but it was a big, powerful run inside.
And I mean, he's pretty big out there. Like he's been bringing a decent amount of pressure. So he's definitely one of those players that the Sabres offense has to look out for.
Okay, snap. It's an errant snap. It's down. He has trouble getting it. He still hasn't picked it up.
Yep.
He's able just to cover it.
Hey, there he is. He's in the backfield. Got the tackle on that one. See, that's going to be. I mean,
that's interesting. Oh, keep an eye on this guy. There. Look at the replay. Look at him come off the edge. Now, of course, it helped that the quarterback is not able to pick up the ball. Run that again there if you could, Chip. Let's see. Oh, here we go. See the guy off the edge? Yeah.
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 He was almost there.
He was there awfully quickly. Okay, shotgun single back, looking left, stands up, moves to the outside, throws it off balance, and he's got a guy open.
Cody Martinez.
Oh, man.
Making the play. Oh, man.
And there was so much good to this. Look at the quarterback. He's under pressure, steps up, throws.
That was a great job from the quarterback. What a throw.
Break down his technique there, if you would. There, watch it. Okay, watch him. Break it down.
Yeah,
he jumps and he throws the ball and it right on.
Yeah, that's one of those that would make any kind of quarterback coach like scream.
Yeah.
Because he did probably everything they tell you not to do. But
one
he
more time,
made
Chip.
the play. That was pure arm strength, and it was a
jump.
That was a nice. It was a nice ball. It was just a nice ball.
No. That's Sports Center. Well,
and Cody just kind of snuck right behind him.
And you know what happened? I think that the defensive back thought it was a sack.
Yeah,
he was surprised on that one because it wasn't bad coverage until the very end, and that's when the separation occurred. Yeah. So they come out the first series within 2 seconds. 2 minutes.
Well, that might hurt them.
They score, but then they're not able to get the extra point. Problem with the corralling the snap, and there we go, right? We talk about that all the time. How big will that point be?
It could be really big in a game where, the Nighthawks might be rusty, but they're really good when it comes to capitalizing on mistakes, and I expect them to score again. So, anytime when you have points, especially more or less free points when it comes to an extra point, you want to get them because you might need them in the long run, especially later in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially on the makeup of this game. Equally matched, unmatched, actually, when you come into the potential of what you expect, yet they're playing pretty equal. It can dang well come down to a single point.
Yeah. And I think one of the things, too, is you kind of can't really sleep on the Nighthawks because I feel like from watching some of the stuff that they're doing.
They're talented.
Not only are they talented, but they're also using this as a preseason game because if you're smart, especially as an organization, when the game isn't like a must-win, it is preseason. You want to put players out there and see what they can do, so that you can also not only work on mistakes, but if somebody's not good at a position, you can know that before you put them out in a game that counts. So I think they're kind of testing the waters to see who can do what.
Running, the receiver gets it on the 15, cuts upfield, then breaks all the way across the field, across from the booth.
Oh.
But he's still up. Now he's coming all the way back
Oh,
to the
man.
field, and he has blockers. There's a big
What
hit
a
there.
block.
He's got 3 guys in front of him, 2 defenders, 3 guys.
He
Oh,
he almost had it all the way.
Well, I tell you what.
He ran. I think he ran out of energy.
Well, the fact he got to the 11-yard line and was tackled there, look at this, all the way to the side from about the 20. Then he comes all the way back, cuts back inside. Lots of times you say you don't want to run lateral, but turns it up. Now look at the blockers in front of him. Are they throwing blocks? They certainly are.
Who was it that got that block? I would have loved to catch his number. That was a great block, but yeah, that was a great play.
This is a great run.
Yeah, that was. Man,
I'd like to see the up there because it was. I thought he had it going there, and then it may have been just that's a long way. How far did he run back and forth across the field a couple of times and 80 yards?
Well, and that's the thing. People a lot of times people underestimate the power of special teams, but you really all phases matter, and special teams can be a huge boost for you. And in this case, I mean, yeah, they gave up points, but their special teams plays, Wafer pretty much got them right there to score again.
Okay, now look at this. We got the running back behind the quarterback in the shotgun. 2 receivers to the top, 2 to the bottom, wide field to the top. He's looking left and shuffles over, throws it back inside a little bit.
Oh, drops the ball.
That was a tough catch. It was a little behind him. But he had the opening. He had some separation.
Looks like we might have Adam Cruz in there now.
The old King?
Yeah, that same one. It looks like if I'm seeing it right, that's Adam Cruz that's now back there.
Number 2?
Yep, number 2. He tried to hit Day on that slant, it just didn't connect.
And they made great connections a few years ago.
Oh yeah.
Adam Cruz was a big time player for the Kings. One of those guys, next level almost. And he's got 3 receivers to his left. Running back set up behind. He's looking right all the way, putting it up high into the end zone. Let the receiver go up. Did he get it? It looked like, yes, he did.
And that was Day.
Day. So those 2 guys go way back. But watch how he puts it up in the air and says, Day, go get it for me. Watch the air he puts under the ball. He's covered. Yep. Day's covered.
It wasn't bad coverage, but that is the thing, and that's why having experience with your wide receivers and the practice time and everything else is so big because you can trust them and know right where to put it. And a great throw, great catch.
We got to see that a few more times because you hit everything on the nose, and there's still more beside because we weren't even talking about Deshaun Delgado's sense of where he is on the field. His toes barely touch down inside, and you know what that's worth?
Hey, that's
6 points.
Exactly. You need it. Oh,
gosh,
both teams messed this up. Oh, you can't afford that. Oh.
Well, now the first extra point missed, and we got a penalty here. They may get another chance. Intentionally grounding.
Yeah, no, that's going to be on them. So that's just it may be.
No, it is on the Sabres. But the question is, what do you do that on the extra point? Is that?
No, I was on the Nighthawks there, so they'll probably decline it. If they accept it and they can put it on the kickoff, that might be worth doing. But otherwise, decline it would be the smart decision. Because there's no reason to give the Nighthawks a second chance. They actually have a kicker. They could they could definitely make the kick.
Well, when you explain it to me in that way, it's completely obvious. That's right. Hey, let's run that touchdown again. And there's so much to that play that was so good. We talked about everything else. Now look at the positioning. Look at how the receiver knows exactly where to put his feet. Look at this. There he is. He's just going up. It's a jump ball. Quarterback trusts him. And look at how his feet touch. Could you get any closer? Yeah. And got to give a shout out to the official. He's in the perfect position. See where he is? Look at him bend down. Yeah. He's right there to make the call.
And it was, a lot of it's technique too, because if you look at what the wide receiver is doing, pretty much the cornerback's making contact with him. So both him and Day have full extension, and he's kind of using that to keep some separation, but he pulls his hand away early, which gives it enough that they won't call it on him while the cornerback kind of keeps his hand on Day. So it's like, yeah, he's not going to get PI for that. And he was in the right. He watched the ball and he went up at the last possible second, got it at its highest point. I mean, it's textbook. So
That was a sweet
good.
play. That was textbook.
Yeah, no, they execute. And that's the thing. I mean, I kind of expected them to come out, and if they execute, they will score some points. So.
And they're making it exciting.
Yeah.
20-20. Okay, we had to miss the extra point on both sides to keep
Yeah.
it tied. Taking the ball to the far side of the field on the 5-yard line, cuts to the middle, keep angling across, sees the seam, turns it up, and then explodes upfield for the last couple of yards. That was 28 yards. You know, anytime you get over beyond the 20-yard line, that's good. But that particular run was especially exciting.
Yeah, Harris, he's had actually some decent amount of returns. He's got some good yards.
Oh, they got some good returns.
Yeah, nothing quite like what the Nighthawks had on their return.
Right, that was amazing.
But they've been starting with decent field position, and that definitely helps your offense. Like that's kind of what you want from your special teams.
It opens the playbook, as they say.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. 1st and 10 from the 26-yard line. Single back there out in the shotgun. 2 receivers to the top, 2 down here. Motion across, looking to the right. He doesn't see the play, so he starts scrambling, running, turns it upfield. Are you kidding me? That's a 15-yard gain. He didn't see anything. He rolled to the right. He motioned across, tried to put into some combination over there on the right-hand side. It was covered, so he just took it for a first down.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. He can get downfield if you don't watch him. The only thing that really would scare me is long-term, if he keeps taking those hits at quarterback, that could end up leaving him injured at some point in the season.
After this play, I'm going to ask you what that motion they were trying to pull there. But right now we got trips down here to the bottom, one guy to the top, running back alongside the quarterback out of the shotgun. He's rolling towards us, and something just happened. I mean, it would have to be offense if they stopped the play
I'm
in
going to
action.
assume that was probably a false start. But
Okay, so they motioned the play before. They motioned the flank across the formation, like a fly sweep type of deal. What were they trying to set up there on the end? It didn't happen, so the quarterback
Well, it looked
scrambled.
like they actually wanted to basically screen to the motion guy. So they were expecting him to
fly
come. Yeah, he was basically coming across, and then he was going to basically post up and just as a quick dump to him. That's what it looked like they were trying to do.
And the defense picked it up.
Yeah, the defense was sitting waiting for that, so the quarterback decided not to. He pulled it down, and he took it upfield and got yards.
1st and 15. Trips down here. Looking for a combination towards the booth here. Looking at, there's a bubble screen real quick. It's covered, so he turns it upfield. Takes one heck of a blow. And this is going back to what you said just a couple of plays ago. You like when he runs and he makes these big plays, but then you got to wonder, you're putting him into the teeth of the beast when you do that. And these are some big, those Nighthawks.
Oh, yeah.
Those are some big, powerful defensive players over there.
Yeah, no, I mean, and Nate's a tough dude too, but yeah, you don't necessarily, if you could try to minimize some of those hits, that's gonna help you last the whole season.
All right, trips down here, but a big cushion. Steps up into the pocket, breaks.
There he goes
free.
again.
Are you kidding me? Takes a big hit and gains, gee whiz, 20 yards, 15 yards, 17 yards, something along those lines. 1st and 10 inside Nighthawk territory.
He's making some plays with his legs. I mean, they're nice. I mean,
well, here we go. Look, because he's under duress.
Yeah, that was nice. Broke a tackle, and that made it a big difference.
And he took, as you were talking about, he took a big hit there at the end.
Yeah.
All right, trips down here. Got a lot of space off of the defensive backs. Looks left, makes the call, hands off inside. Running back makes a quick cut to the left and then turns up and runs into that big guy. That was a big, powerful guy. I cannot read his number out there on the field. Let's see the screen. Was that 80?
I I think
66.
it was 66. I don't
Yeah,
know if they gave us the number for him, so I'm not sure which player specifically that was, but he's a big boy.
We don't have his number, and that's a number I think we should get because he has the Sabres number. Yeah. All right, here we go. 2nd and 10. Slight roll to the right, looking back, throwing all the way back across.
There must have been some miscommunication on what the wide receivers were doing because nobody was in that area.
Yeah, yes. I mean, he rolled a half roll to the left towards the booth here, threw it back across the field, and could it be that there was a combination of coverage that he didn't think and he just wanted to get rid of the ball?
Maybe. Sometimes as a quarterback, you might actually throw a pass that kind of looks like it's going to nobody just because you realize the routes aren't there and you got to get it out. But now you don't want to ground it, so you just overthrow everybody and, live fight another day. So maybe that was it.
Okay, we got 2 down here, 2 to the top, running back in there to protection. He's staying in for max protection. He's got pressure off the right side. Quarterback just starts running, jamming in, turns it up, gets a first down. He was under duress. He ran right up the middle now. That's a deal there. And when he dropped back to pass, as you know, those middle linebackers are dropping. They got to drop into the hook curl zone. They're vacating the middle. Mm-hmm. The tough thing is a quarterback is under pressure like that, and he's able to slip through it and get right up the middle. You're going to have to talk about possibly getting a little more push in the middle of your defensive line.
Somebody could go down injured, it looks like.
Okay, let's see that again there if we could, Chip.
What point?
Yeah, you know what? They had pressure up the middle, too. That was just a nice play. Yeah. See that? Because they got guys coming up the middle.
Well, you know what? That's what is actually kind of nice when you run trip sets like that, and especially getting people wide, is the other upside is, depending on where their pressure is, if you spread those linebackers out, it creates lanes for the quarterback to pull it in and run, especially if they're sitting in like a zone, or even if they're playing man. If your wide receivers are pulling everybody out of the way, there are gaps. So it's like, as a quarterback, you can pull it down, especially if they're not containing you.
Sure. And
making sure that you can't run right up the middle. And it kind of looks like, for the most part, at this point, the Nighthawks are so kind of excited to get to them that they're just over pursuing
to make a statement on defense.
Yeah.
Let's shut this guy down. And that's a good point you make on trips, because the middle linebacker, they call it the hook curl zone. Mm. Basically, it's the curl of the tight end or a hook on the wide receiver, slot receiver coming and hooking over the middle. So exactly, if there's triples, if you're trips to a side, the linebacker, he's going to have to cover that inside zone with one of those wide receivers. And so that was exactly, he would move out there like you pointed out, and then that would open it up. The middle would open up for the the quarterback to make a quick move. Trips down here, big space off of the defensive backs. You could see a bubble screen down here, or one of those laser shots. Calls it off, looking left. Got a quick square out. Oh. So the inside, the slot receiver, not the inside guy, the guy halfway between the slot and the wide receiver, made a quick out. Looks like he was open. Unfortunately, the ball just didn't get there.
Yeah, he almost got it to Robinson. It just need a little more air on it, and it would have been good. But it's kind of there. I mean, they're really, and they might be something they saw in film, possibly, maybe from past games, but they're definitely attacking with those trips.
What do you think about the cushion that they're giving them out here? I mean, that's 15 yards back there with the middle guy. You got the slot inside and the wide receiver and the middle guy. Mm-hmm. Okay, hands off inside, turns it up, takes a big hit. Even when they gain some yards, that defense, that Nighthawk defense, that's a tough, stout. There's some hard hitters in there.
Yes. No, the Nighthawks are definitely hidden like that. That's without question. And even when the quarterback takes off and runs it, like, they're mostly making him pay for it if he decides to stay up and go heads. But so far it's interesting to kind of see what they do here, because it's third down. They still need 7 yards, so they're probably gonna have to look to pass. So I'll be curious to see.
They're set up with the trips down here. Got the running back alongside the quarterback in shotgun. He's set there to protection. He comes across, then flares out. Got a guy over the middle.
Overthrow.
Holy mackerel, because he had that inside position.
Mm-hmm.
By him, I mean the receiver
Still good coverage though. The defense was there.
Yeah.
And it was kind of risky because it looked like they threw it up to a slower receiver. I think that was
Here we go right here. So he had position. He was covered, but he had the inside position. But
yeah.
So what do you look at when a receiver out there on the side? Do you look for the defensive back to be outside of him or inside?
A lot of times it's going to depend on where the safety is. I mean, in that situation, you kind of don't want to throw that inside because the safety was pretty much right there. I mean, he could have came in and made a play if he wanted to.
Okay. It says, here we go, 4th down.
Ooh, they got him again.
Yeah, but it was more than 5 yards, but now it's a very – I mean, if you're going to go for it on 4th and 7, 4th and 8, right, 4th and 2, 4th and 3, and once again, that opens up the playbook.
Yeah, I know that. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, with it, what we've seen even from the game, Nighthawks have plenty of talent. It's just the little execution stuff. But you kind of almost want to see this in a preseason game because you want to be able to go back to the film and be like, we need to clean this up. We need to clean that up. This is, something that we need to fix because then you know where you need to work on and, it only makes you better.
Well, you hear people say, well, losing this game was the best thing for us. Well, no, it's not. It's not good to lose. But if the Nighthawks, because we know they're a dang good team, if they even get close at the end of this game, they're going to learn a lot from this. Here we go. 4th and much shorter than it was a minute ago. Hands it off inside. Cuts out, sees the seam, gets outside, turns it up. Oh,
23.
Man, he's down to about the 7-yard line.
Hey, Bowie.
And that's what that offsides did. What we just said, it opens up the playbook. They weren't going to run that. I can't say they wouldn't, but that's not a play you would run on 4th and 8. But you can run that on 4th and 3.
Yeah, and it makes it a lot harder even for the defense just as far as play calling goes because, when you're looking at a 4th and 2, they could run the ball or they could pass it. So you kind of got to either play both or guess.
Right.
Whereas, if it was 4th and 7, they're probably going to pass. You don't really have to play the run. You know?
Okay. 2 to the top, 2 down here. Motion across. We've seen some interesting things there. He's rolling into the motion, steps up inside the outside contain, puts the ball up. There could be a flag there unless it was not catchable.
No.
Although, in high school, if they're really going to that, that's not a rule in high school. There's no such thing as uncatchable.
Really?
Yeah, it's a penalty. In fact, I complained that when I was coaching in high school, and the gentleman said, that's a Saturday, because we played Friday night. He said, that's a Saturday rule. I go, Saturday rule? What the heck does that mean? And then they explained that as pass interference, it doesn't matter if it's catchable. In high school, they call it.
Huh.
Of course, I just made all that up. No, that's a true story. That's a true story. Here we go. 2nd and 8. Ball on the 8. 2nd and goal. He widens out his running back a little bit. Motion across, and now you're going to have 4 ball carriers to the right. Quick pitch, but he doesn't see any there. Comes back, but he keeps his feet going. Look at how he keeps driving. Now get some linemen in there. And we have another player slow to get up. Running the clock. The official says run the clock. Now he's actually yelling run the clock.
Bowie, I mean, I don't think that, obviously, I'm pretty sure the play was designed to go the other direction, but he kind of seeing how everybody was coming up, and he's like, let me try the other way. No,
it did seem that it was, but there was nothing there.
Yeah, at least he managed to get back to the line of scrimmage and didn't lose yards, so that's kind of a big thing.
Yeah.
But it will be interesting to see because earlier in the game we saw the Nighthawks bend but not break, so it'll be kind of curious to see how they play this out. And then, if they don't convert this 3rd down, are they going to bring in the field goal kicker or are they going to try to go for it on 4th? That will be interesting.
Well, that's the question. Do they have a field goal kicker? Because at this league, at this level, sometimes you don't know. And I didn't really see them during the pre-games.
I know they have out of the actual, kicks extra point-wise that they've kicked.
Right.
They've been good outside of the one that was bobbled and he didn't get a chance to kick it. So it does seem like they do have some kind of kicker.
Yeah.
Does he have range, though? I don't know. That will be interesting to see.
Yeah, that's a good point because you can't always tell on extra points. But if it's not close, right? If you're kicking extra points and it just barely sneaks in,
Yeah.
then that's a pretty good indication. So, yeah, I think from this position that they probably would be willing to go for it on fourth down. I mean, they kick the field goal on fourth down.
Yeah.
And especially, they both missed the extra point, 20-20. 3 points can make a big difference.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So that'll be kind of interesting to see what they call here and then how they play it.
Yeah, what are they going to do? But, gosh,
They love those trips, though. I mean, I love that kind of offense, too. So, I mean, I love to see somebody actually use it.
He's looking left. He doesn't see what he wants, so he's moving out to get some more time. Looks like he's got a guy over in the corner. Throws it up. There he is. Oh, no, man. Oh, he's going to not want to watch the video on demand, and that's one of the great things about this program that we're putting on here. The SouthSound Nighthawks are putting together this show, and you can watch it again, video on demand. And speaking of video on demand, let's see that again there, Chip.
Yeah, this one, he actually left the pocket too soon. You could see, like, the DN was waiting for him to leave that pocket. He was kind of, like, seeing what he was going to do.
Yeah, but he got outside, though, see? So, I mean, he did get outside. So, so what you're saying, if he waited in, the routes could have developed?
Yeah. So, sometimes you'll see it where, and, I mean, I've even experienced that at quarterback, where you get kind of antsy and you'll leave a pocket earlier when you actually have protection.
Is it going to be illegal substitution?
Illegal substitution.
Oh, my gosh. Because we're looking at a 30-yard field goal, and that's what we were talking about. And, the extra points have been pretty good, so
yeah.
I think you're probably going to not have any problem with that. Now, I had 5 to that, 35.
Yeah, that's good. That's like the one that you don't want because it's so frustrating as an offense because, I mean, for your kicker, especially when you're in a good position and you're confident, oh, he's got this, now you're just starting to stretch his range. I guess we'll see what that kicker has.
Yeah, let's see. I'm kind of glad that happened.
Yeah, I believe it's Gabe Foster is who they got.
That's who I thought it was. Oh, man, are you kidding me?
Just a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit.
He was off.
He had the distance.
Oh, more than
he didn't
the
have
distance.
the angle.
He had like 40 yards.
Yeah, just the angle was off.
So a big drive, running it all the way down there. A few inopportune penalties. Hey, the first game, if it's going to happen, the first game, and that's what you say, too, is that you expect that. Not necessarily expect that, but that does happen on your first game. Few big penalties. They're moving the ball well, especially against the stout defense of the Nighthawks.
Yeah. And that's credit, too, to the Nighthawks because they kind of buckled down once they actually got within that red zone range. Like the Nighthawks kind of, they made sure that nobody was wide open. So it was none of the throws were easy, and they got some pressure.
Well, if we're going to give compliments to the Nighthawks, let's do it at the end of this drive because here we go. 1st and 10 on the 20. He's got 3 receivers to the top. Showing blitz, backing out. He's looking left all the way. It's the bubble screen. Makes a cut in, then cuts back out. Gets some blocking, turns it up, change of directions. Ball's on the ground.
Oh, man.
Now, it's a tough one, when you're running for the extra yards, and I think the person that hit him came in from behind. That's tough, but gee whiz. And you know what? This is first game. Look at this nice run.
Salgado he just didn't.
Look at
that's
the ball.
Good awareness.
Look at the ball, though. See?
Good awareness.
That's a little loose on the ball. He still got it. He's still moving, fighting for extra yard.
There it is. Yeah, he got the little punch.
Yeah. So let's find out who the defensive guy. So we got to give some credit there because and seeing the replay, the defender intentionally knocked that ball out. And that's what they talk about. Yeah, you struggle for the yards, and then that's always the downside.
Yeah. No, that's probably the toughest thing because probably a good percentage of fumbles actually happen because you're fighting for extra yards and you get loose with the ball.
Now check this out. The quarterback just ran out here and talked to the slot receiver. Okay, now he's back inside. Got his defense or the running back in, sets on the corner, looks up, steps, shuffles around, looks back to the opposite, wide open guy.
Oh, that hurt. That really hurt. He probably got the wind knocked out of him.
Yeah, he was extended. He's talking about the defender. The defender extended out to get into this ball, and then came down hard.
Oh yeah, that hurts so much because you're going basically as high as you can possibly jump, and then you're falling on your side from that height. So it's like It's almost like if you jumped off a ladder and landed on your side.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you don't have much padding there, so it's like, it can be painful.
It's a shock.
But
okay.
Great play.
Trips down here to the bottom and got the running back is still in there in the shotgun to protect the quarterback. Look at they're not coverage. There's an uncovered guy down here. Okay, linebacker came back out to pick him up, handed off inside. He's driving. They're probably going to call a helmet-to-helmet or a
maybe a late hit.
I don't think I'm not disagreeing with you. I don't think it was late. The deal is the running back was turned around facing back towards his own line, and the defender came in and lowered his head.
Maybe.
Not there, but right here. Well, yeah, he hit him with a forearm into the back of the neck. Yeah, I think you're going to have to take that. I don't think there's any question about that.
That's kind of unfortunate. Yeah, because it's like you're trying to get out there, and make some plays. So
yeah,
I mean, you want your defenders to swarm.
Fly to the ball.
Somebody's making a tackle and the other person's staying up.
Yeah, and that's a tough one, because now the focus on safety.
Yeah.
One of the little keys though is form tackling. Yeah, and that's one of the ways, and I think maybe that should be promoted a little more. That's one of the ways to make sure in that kind of situation you're not going to be called for spearing or helmet hit. Get down there, get under control, form tackle, pick them up. Hey, it's not as much fun because you're not laying the guy out. And when the running back's like that, tied up with his back to you, that's a free shot.
Yeah.
Form tackling, you won't get that call. And that's something else, personal foul,
yep.
with the head, yeah. And that's something else that I think actually you could incorporate into the rules. It's like when the receiver, and I know no one's going to go for this, but when the receiver's down there looking back, touches the ball, and then you wipe him out, you can add the rule there, form tackle. All right, get under control, make the tackle. The receiver has to take 2 steps before you can lay out on him. Otherwise, just make the form tackle.
It's tough. It's really tough for the defense. Like, I understand the rules, for the idea of safety and everything, but it really puts the defenders in a really tough spot because you're trying to make a tackle,
Right. And that's where, yes, I agree with you completely, but that's where I go, well, make the form tackle, and you'll probably not be in trouble. Okay, motion across to the right side. Quarterback looking right. Big contain rush. Turns it up. Dances back inside. Keeps going. This is a tough guy. He's got a ton of guys on him. Probably literally about a ton of guys on him. Stops him. He never goes down, but his forward motion is stopped right around the 12-yard line.
Yeah, Nate has made some plays with his feet.
He certainly has.
And, I mean...
And toughness.
Yeah, and it's kind of... you don't necessarily always expect that from the quarterback position, but
he's not a big guy either.
Yeah, but they are having a lot of trouble containing him. He's finding little openings and just getting what he can.
Trips down here to the bottom after this play. Give me some background on that quarterback, Nate, you say.
Okay, yeah.
All right, here we go. He's pointing out to where the defenses are. Fakes to the right, comes back to the left, goes to the right, comes back to the left, runs hard, takes on the defender. I think the defenders, he's a little guy. I think the defenders are going to have to get back into that dip and rip right before the hit, get down low and drive up through the quarterback. And you normally don't have to say that to protect yourself. Usually when you want to hit the quarterback, it's because the quarterback's typically, unlike you when you played, but typically aren't able to take that punishment. In this case, my goodness, that guy is just hitting people.
Yeah.
After the next play, give me the background on him. All right. Clapping his hands. Let's get ready to go. Back, looking left, looks right, shuffling around, steps into the throw. Guys in the end zone.
Oh, great throw. Oh, man. Fisher's got to catch that. That's kind of disappointing when you're playing quarterback and you put it in there right where it has to be. Oh, he threaded it. What a throw.
That was nice, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So what's the background on this quarterback?
Well, I mean, I've had the opportunity to practice with him on various teams and whatnot, but I mean, he's an athlete, and he has some experience playing wide receiver as well. So it's like
that's a big one.
So he knows how to actually run with the ball. So that's part of the reason I think a lot of times when you have people that convert from other positions,
motion into trips to the left. He looks right, looks it off, bounce back, keeps the play alive, moves out, shuffles his feet back around, sees the guy in the back of the end zone.
A little too high. But yeah, like I mean, when you move from another position, you're used to delivering hits a lot of times more so. So learning to slide can be tough. Like, I know even for me, when I moved to quarterback, I wanted to like run people over a lot, but when you're younger, it's okay. You can get away with it, but those start adding up, and especially when you're taking hits over time.
Well, and once you have a wife, that might have something to do with it too, huh?
Yeah, I think in general, it will catch up to you. It wears on you over time. But
yeah, so we got 4, 2 to the top, 2 to the bottom. Running back staying in there. He claps his hand and says, let's get it going. Takes the snap, looks right all the way, looks left. Working down the progression, steps in, backs up, steps back in, goes around, throws it back off the last foot. Oof. There's going to be a flag. No, there is not. And you know what? What I liked right there is look at the progression. Yeah. He went to at least secondary, maybe even the third receiver.
Yeah, well, one thing that people like, I feel like we probably ourselves are not giving them enough credit is look at how well their offensive line has been playing. The fact of the matter is that their line has actually, like, the amount of time that he had, that's the offensive line. Some of it was his movement in the pocket.
Absolutely, some of it was his movement.
But the linemen didn't stop blocking. No. And, like, that can be a huge thing because, sometimes, especially when it starts getting longer and longer that you're holding onto the ball, linemen can kind of be like, well, where is he at? And maybe turn around and look for the quarterback, and then the defender's gone, So it's like, no, the linemen are holding their blocks, and they're doing a really good job that way. So they deserve a little shout-out there.
They certainly do. 27-yard field goal, 20-20. Deep into the third quarter, it's up.
Oh, it looks like he's good.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right, there we go.
Foster missed the one earlier, but that one was on money.
So the turnover, we have the Nighthawks. Seem to be in great position, ready to go. They turn it over, and as you know as a quarterback and as coaches know, when you score on a turnover, that carries extra momentum points.
Yeah. There's just been like a lot of little stuff that have kind of like sidelined the Nighthawks, but it's kind of to be expected in your first game. It's like this is exactly why you play preseason, because you want to get all these little mistakes out of the way, and you also want to see how people respond because, they didn't. This probably isn't the game they expected to be in.
Absolutely, it's
I'm
not.
sure they didn't expect the Sabres to put up 23 points, and they didn't expect to be down in the third quarter, but they're not out of this game. So it's like now, they've obviously shown flashes of like greatness at various points in this game. So it's going to be a question of, can they string it all together to get a nice long drive and to get into the end zone, or even a quick strike and get in? That's what they need to focus on at this point.
That's a good point. There's a ton of time left, right? Mm-hmm. We still got 4.25 minutes to go in the third quarter, so we got a lot of time. Nonetheless, kickoff deep down to about the 15-yard line, turns it up, got a good return automatically, slips one tackle, heads into another one. He's still on his feet. They blow the whistle.
They blew the whistle too early.
Yeah, they did, although when you spin around, you could say lack of forward progress, but yeah, I would say that.
Well, the irony was his own guy was holding him, so they didn't even have anybody on him.
Let's see that again. Although, the whole safety deal, I don't have a real problem with early whistles. But, he's still going. He gets spun around. What they can claim is forward progress.
See, look at his own guy's holding him at that point. That's his own guy. That's not the defenders. The defenders didn't have him. Like, they blew the whistle while his own guy was holding him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a rule change. It wasn't that long ago that would be a penalty against the return team. Your own guys weren't allowed to grab them and pull them forward.
Yeah, that is actually true. Yeah, they didn't allow you to use to push for momentum. I'm glad they changed that, though.
Yeah. 2 to the bottom, 2 to the top. Running back flares out. It's a quick pass to him. They've got some receivers down to throw a block. He cuts inside, gains a few yards. Out to the 49-yard line, first down, nice play.
Yeah.
Now that's the Nighthawks we expect.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it doesn't take something to be extremely complicated. It's just kind of getting the ball into the hands of your playmakers, and in this case, Cruz found Donnie, and he did the rest. Pretty simple.
Well, they convert, move the sticks forward. First down, 45-yard line. 2 to the top there. They're set 2 down here to the closed side of the field. Flare out on the running back again. Defensive back. And I'll tell you what, that's that number 1 there off of the right defensive end. He was able to get his hands up there. That's not number 1. Can you see that number? He's able to get his hands up there and possibly deflect the ball.
Yeah.
So the change, they're moving him forward. There is an iconic picture going all the way back to the Ice Bowl in the 1960s when Green Bay beats Dallas to go to the second Super Bowl. In their iconic picture where Bart Starr is quarterback sneaking and scoring, Chuck Munster, the fullback, has jumped up behind him with his hands up in the air, and I'll finish this story after this next snap. 2 receivers to the top, 2 down here to the bottom to the short side of the field. Running back in there to give good protection to the shotgun. Shotgun looking left all the way, steps up, throws it. That defensive end out there is getting some pressure. Can we get a number on him?
I believe that was number 8. Yeah, looks like I think that was.
Holy mackerel. That would be Fiamila. That's a couple plays in a row. He's put some pressure on there. So anyway, the iconic photo as Bart Starr sneaks in to win the Ice Bowl. The Chuck Munster, the fullback, jumped with his hands up. He wasn't signaling touchdown. In those days, it was illegal to push the running back forward. So the iconic photo of signaling touchdown, it was because it was illegal to push the quarterback forward, and I'm sticking with that story. All right, here we go.
Cruz
back, rolling chip. He's got pressure on him. The outside contained. He's able to get outside of it. Sets back, throws off the back foot, and just threads the ball right to the receiver on the 50-yard line. Break down that movement on the quarterbacks.
That helps when you can extend the play. But credit to his lineman that he stayed with it, because you want your lineman to kind of follow. I believe that was Will Craig. I could be wrong, but I believe that was him.
Well, I'm going to watch this and try to get that guy's number, because actually on the replay, the way the quarterback was able to get outside of contain was his offensive lineman hustling and sealing the contained rush, typically the left defensive end. In that case, sealing him inside, letting the quarterback bounce outside. Thanks for pointing out the great job his offensive line did.
Yeah, maybe that was Kevin McDonald, but he did a great job. Looks like they're in pistol now.
Yeah, I got full backfield there with the shotgun, 2 to the top, 1 down here to the close side, jump off side, he gets back.
Oh, nice, they caught him.
And what's it going to be? This is going to be interesting how you measure that off.
Well, it's
right at 5.
Yeah, so that would give him first.
Well, right there. And that's another change from the old days. You used to be able to jump off and then get back if you were on defense. But to make things a little safer, now if you get into the neutral zone is the width of the football down from sideline to sideline. If a defender jumps into that zone, now they just stop the play and give you the 5 yards to the offense.
Yeah, it was smart. I mean, both teams have kind of done that on 4th down, manipulate the defense.
Snap count, yes, there you go. 2 to the top, 2 down here, looking left all the way, steps back. He's got separation.
Wide open.
He's open. He's got it. There you go.
There's Day again.
Sean Delgado.
Yeah.
And here we go. This is the Nighthawks. These are the Nighthawks we were expecting to see.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And, you expect it. You expect it sooner or later. And, yeah, he was just gone. He already saw us coming. Good throw.
Is Cruz the quarterback in there?
Yes, I believe so. If the numbers are correct, that was Adam Cruz. And he's kind of targeted Salgado a lot, so.
For years. Actually, I haven't gone back 3 years.
You can see the comfortability that they have back there.
The trust.
And they've been connecting, yeah.
And that one, going back to the touchdown to the right side of the end zone where he was covered, but he just put it up there. And Delgado came down tippy-toe inbounds. That's just some good combination for a quarterback-receiver combination.
Oh, yeah. Looks like that is good. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. 4 point, that field goal, that instead of just changing scores, tying up, you throw that field goal in there, and now we're able to get a leader. The Nighthawks have taken the lead.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the first time in this game?
Actually, you might be right.
I think so, because they've been tying it up.
You are right. Yeah.
Right, because that was from the very beginning. We were talking about, my goodness, these upstarts, the Tacoma Sabers, they took the lead, and then they got the lead back, and then they got the lead back. And so that field goal, going down to that field goal, right, and they're moving down there to get some mistakes. They had 1st and goal.
Defense held.
Yeah. The defense from the Nighthawks pushed them back. The Sabres had a couple of a couple of penalties, pushed them back. They had to end up for the field goal. And now the Nighthawks have taken the lead for the first time of the game.
Oh, yeah. And that's one of the big things, too. Like, a lot of times people might get a little, especially a younger team, might get a little anxious early in the game if things aren't going your way, or you're kind of trailing when you expect you should be winning. But a lot of these veteran teams, I mean, you win the game in the second half. You can play fantastic in the first half, but most of the time you're going to need to make these scores down the stretch unless you scored a ton. And in this case, they have the weapons to do it, and they showed it right there on that drive.
And this game is where you win in the second half because it was tied at halftime.
Yeah,
got to hand it to the Sabres, but I think the Nighthawks are going to wake up here.
Ooh,
what are you doing? Oh, that's good. Momentum of the ball carried it, even though the ball on the kickoff was hit in the field of play. The momentum of the ball carried it back into the end zone. If the kick returner had caught the ball at the goal line and then on the momentum of the ball knocked him back into the end zone, he takes a knee. It's not a 2-point setback, or safety would be the correct term. Now, if you catch it on the field of play on a kickoff and you run into the end zone, that could be a safety.
Yeah, and that's kind of a little bit of an adjustment for a lot of players was the change, because for the longest time we didn't have that rule, but in high school, basically if anything goes into the end zone, period, it's pretty much done as far as the kickoff goes, and you just get the ball out there at the 20. So it isn't like you can run it out even if you were to catch it cleanly in the end zone.
Yes, and here we are. We are on the 20. It's Sabres ball. Gets the snap. He's rolling, short roll to the left. Looks up, puts it way down, and
too far.
Yeah, that's an interesting one right there. Mm-hmm. And it's funny you mentioned the rule change. I happen to have played in a game where our kickoff returner didn't field the ball because it landed in the end zone. And in those days, the team ran down, fell on the ball in the end zone. Yeah, it was a touchdown, and the big thing was 0 seconds went off the clock. So they had scored. Now, you got to think about it. We don't count the whole time that it was Missouri. The whole time they went down the field, we don't count that. They score, clock stops, kick off, fumble in the end zone, scored again, 14 points, no time off the clock. I like that rule change. All right, here we go. 2nd and 10. 2 guys to the bottom, 2 guys up there at the top. Running back steps up, comes right around in behind. The linebacker, quarterback scrambles in, scrambles out, keeps going, drive in there, and covers a whole lot of ground to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. No, there wasn't a lot there, but I mean, I gotta give credit to their general play calling, because they've thrown a lot of different things at the Nighthawks, and it's helped their quarterback, because definitely as a quarterback, when you're shorter, it really helps when you get a chance to play out of shotgun a lot, and throwing in these trips formations as well. It's helped.
But the interesting thing on that play too is the fullback who's been staying in to protect. He actually went around and folded right in behind the linebackers, right? So that was interesting too, because they were expecting the linebackers to have stepped up.
Yeah.
Okay, 3rd and 10. Pretty much expecting the pass.
Got him offsides.
Now he's pointing over the defensive guy that jumped off sides, is pointing at the offensive player.
They flinched?
I didn't see the flinch.
I didn't either.
Of course, we're a little ways away. We'll let the officials call that out. Hey, we want to say it's been a pretty good, well officiated game.
Yeah, they've actually. I have to admit, the officials have actually called a fairly clean game.
Yeah, well, so let's give a shout out to Corey McElrevy. He's the umpire. He may not enjoy how I said the name, but McElrevy, the umpire. Terry Simmons is the white hat. Here we go. 3rd and 5, a little more opportunity here to get the 5 yards for the first down. Showing blitz. Here they come. Late blitz. Quick out. What happened there? Because he was just clear of the sticks.
Harris has got to catch that, yeah. It was a little low, but it hit his hands, it's what you want.
One wonders, too, if the quarterback was just throwing it right past the sticks. The receiver did get upfield a little bit beyond where he needed to be to get the first down.
It looked like if he had caught it, he would have been maybe about a yard past, and it would have got them that first down. It was good. It was a good play call. It was good design. It's just the connection didn't work out.
The execution, yes. Yeah. David Puente is the back judge. We got a single man deep to receive the punt from the Sabres. The Nighthawk back there is ready for the snap. It's the only man back. So, are they looking for a block punt? Because they got a lot of people on the line of scrimmage.
I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens. Oof, that hurts.
Jeez.
That hurts.
That's it.
Oof, that really
if
really
you're going to talk about the turning point of the game, this one could come up to you.
And it's what they I'll tell you, that is one thing they do stress a lot of times especially even at the semi-pro level, and special teams. And it's hard to, unless you get enough people at practice consistently, it can be hard to really practice on that. And sometimes it's people don't want to practice that, but in games, man, little mistakes, especially in games that are really close like this and that are still within reach, you make those mistakes against good teams like the Nighthawks, and that's how you'll pay for it.
Oh, and this is where the Nighthawks, this is where they put it away. Not put it away necessarily, but they're up by 4, down in great position. 3 guys up to the top of your screen. Got 2 down here to the bottom. Running back in to protect. Takes the inside move. Got the ball. He started inside, stutter stepped outside, broke off to the side, and was able to get 2 yards. Those are tough ones up there. That will bring up 2nd and 5.
Yeah, that was DeWalt again, and he's had some good runs so far. He's kind of like their power back. They like to move him in there, but he's fast. He's kind of shifty. You can't sleep on him because he can move up the field.
Yeah, and pretty powerful in there for being the quick type of runner that he is.
Oh yeah, definitely. Looks like maybe we got a timeout, perhaps.
That's what it's got to be.
Or no, that's the end of the quarter.
That's what it's got to be.
I knew there's a stoppage of somehow.
Walk all the way down to the far side of the field.
Yeah.
So we got 2nd down, 5 yards. Gee whiz, it's tough running down in there, but 2nd down, 5 yards, you have the chance to go ahead and run inside and then step back and try to throw a pass.
Yeah.
So make a prediction here. What do you think they're going to do on this play?
Oh, it's tough. They have a lot of because they have a lot of options. It's 2nd down. They got 5 yards.
On the 5.
Yeah, it's 5
tough
yards.
5
to go.
yards. It's a jammed up 5 yards, but still, you got 3. Depends on how many downs you're willing to take.
Yeah, if they pass, I wouldn't be surprised if Cruz Salgado connection happens, but at this point they could want to see what they got on running, and as far as their running backs and punching it in when they need to. If they're treating this almost like a preseason situation where you want to see what you can do, I don't know. I would think I would maybe run on this down to see what our running backs can do. Pull out a play that you think would work and give it a try.
You mentioned Salgado, right? And at that point, up to that point, I was going to say, run it. I'd even say we haven't seen a fly sweep. It's the flank or wing come across, take the inside hand. I was thinking maybe fly sweep, but you mentioned Salgado. I've just changed my mind. It's Salgado. Next 3 plays, next 2 plays, 3 plays, unless you're going to kick on 4th down. Yeah, it's Salgado to the corner. Yeah. I was going run, but I'm thinking I'm just going to put
I'm not sure that he's in right now, so they might be trying something different.
Things.
Yeah. I think they're going to run it. Oh, no. They were going to run it.
Oh, my God. You know what I think they're going to do? They're going to fumble it. Did anyone of us come up with that one?
Oh, they did. They were going to run it, though.
Yeah.
Oh, because that was almost like the giveaway.
Let's see that again. All right, now explain this one to me, Bryce. We don't see how it hit him because
Yeah,
Did they just miss the mesh? I mean, how do you fumble like that?
It was the handoff exchange, and I do not know. With the way it looked like
Here
on
it
the
is.
handoff exchange,
Holy crap.
I think he didn't create a pocket. It looked like he didn't create a pocket, and so when the quarterback tried to put it in there, his hands weren't actually open to take the ball.
Well, I mean, let's see that again. I mean, is it possible that the running back didn't realize? That's too far back.
Or not far enough back. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird because it might have even been one of those like read option. It might have been even an RPO. But
God, I wouldn't see that on the. Well, yeah, that could be. Okay, here we go. Out of the shotgun, got a running back up next to him. Two guys down here on the wide side of the field. Hands it off inside, cuts back in, then goes back out, puts on the speed. He accelerates. Hey, that is one good running back. When he sees the seam, I like that. He just kicks into another gear. Right?
Yeah,
just accelerates.
No, he
not dancing around. That is one good running back.
Oh yeah, he can definitely get some yards, and he can make big plays. But it's interesting. It looks like they're switching off since it's preseason. Their quarterbacks. We got Zach Nixon back under center now.
They're showing pressure up the middle. They got the running back staying in. They're coming. No, they drop out. Okay, he's got time. Quick out to the sidelines.
Good catch.
That's a good one. Good gain of 8 yards, and that's also a pretty good hot read. If they're showing blitz up the middle, hit a quick out to the sidelines, and hey, what the heck? Let's pick up 5-6 yards. Now, you got to be happy with that.
Yeah, no, it was a good throw to Harrison. He hit him right on the money.
Well,
did they give him the catch? It looks like they did.
Anytime you get 6 yards on first down, you're happy on that. Yeah. But the fact that they showed the blitz, they did this quick out, were able to pick up good yardage. Trips down here. I think something's coming. They're playing off him quite a bit on the defense. Snap. Here's the ball. Running back stays in. Extra protection.
17. Oh yeah. If he looked back where Harris is, he's wide open.
Oh, let's see what happened there. Let's see that again because you know what? They're probably going to come back on that. What happened to the defense?
Well, yeah, if you look at what Harris does, I mean, it's basically like a V route.
Oh, and then he rolls out.
He rolls back, and they're sitting in zone. Yeah. If he looked that way, he's wide open. It might have not been his first read or whatever, but, he was.
Well, he's rolling, and the quarterback, by he, we mean the quarterback. The quarterback is rolling away from that move. That was an interesting
He never looked that way, but, it was a nice, basically what you call like a pivot route.
Do you think he mentioned that there in the huddle? Okay, here we go. Ready for the ball. He's pointing to the blitzer. Blitzer backs out. Quarterback looking right, looking left. He's rolls to his right, hits the open man in the seam.
There you go,
Good throw. That's a good hit at the end.
Cody Martinez. Yeah.
And I'm trying to pick up the number.
Oh, it was number 10.
Number 10.
Who did the hit?
Yeah,
I did not see that.
Nice converge on the running back, the runner at that point. He was a receiver. Well-designed play, though, huh?
Yeah.
Moved around in the pocket just enough to let his receiver get into the middle, a seam in the middle. He's open. Big first down. 49-yard line on their side of the ball. Trips to the top. They need to get some pressure on the quarterback.
They're going to run it again.
What a play. What a play. Inside misdirection. Run that again.
Number 32, man, he is getting some yards.
Starts off to the right and cuts back. See, he just sees the seam and then boom. See his cut upfield? Mm-hmm. That's some good running. He sees that. He starts off to the right, makes angles to the left, and then he just sees it. You know, on those great running backs, they just sense it. Yeah. And then boom, when he sees it, afterburner, kicks in, gets good 8 yards.
Oh, yeah, and that's one thing that they've done a really good job of as far as their running backs is they're hitting the holes. They don't hesitate. They get in the holes, point. And of course the O-line is creating them. So
there it is, first down.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's a good point too. Is that especially when you have a new league, a new team, they're not used to playing together. Obviously, first game they've ever actually played. But I like your point was that you like those running backs that when they see the seam, right? Because you can bounce out. Oh, maybe there's something out here. But when they see that seam, they hit it, take what they can get. Now, in that case, they got 8-9 yards.
Yeah.
and that also can set the defense up that, wow, they're really running the ball at us. We better get off on the snap, except the snap was on 2, and they thought it was on 1. The defense did.
Yeah.
First down, here we go. 1 guy down here to the close side of the field. 3 to the top. Running back staying next to the shotgun quarterback for protection. There's a snap. He steps up. He's looking right.
Oh, that's a dangerous throw.
That was a dangerous throw. I mean, I think double coverage would be
defense.
understanding it.
Great defense. Well, that was – I kind of had a feeling that they were going to go for him because, I mean, when you look at what he's done tonight, Klingberg has been – a problem for them as far as coverage. He's gotten away, but that time the cornerback played the coverage to perfection, didn't let him get off the line of scrimmage, jammed him, and that's why they're doing that. Now they're starting to jam him to prevent him from getting downfield.
Getting the free release.
Yeah, because once he gets in
quarterback
that,
just
fast.
Signaled to the receiver to the left up there. And I don't know why he did, because they handed off inside.
I think they did just to trick him.
Yeah, I mean, fooled me. Yeah, so Klingberg, yeah, you know, he's, well, as the kids today say, he's the dude. He's been doing some dang good football out there. And so that's interesting what you're saying is they're trying to isolate him a little bit, one-on-one, so to speak, with the defender to slow his release off of the ball.
Well, and like a lot of times, they especially like doing that when you see like the Nighthawks lining up with that single high safety, because anytime they got basically a single high safety and they're having to they're forcing them out wide to play those trips on that bottom end where, you know, you got that one wide receiver. It's a great matchup if you got speed guy that can beat the corner. But that's how they made their adjustment, is they're jamming them almost every time.
Like right now, like he's up on them right now. I got 2 down here, 2 receivers at the top, and once again they have the running back next to the shotgun receiver coming across, set into, he's flipping, getting wide, bowing out for a bubble screen.
Good play call, just the ball sailed.
Yeah, and that was close to being
He had
parallel.
the blocking. He had the blocking too. Oh, so it's 4th down now.
That's a little tougher to read on that bubble screen too when you bring the receiver across the formation. 2 guys down here, 2 to the top. Timeout. All right, 10 minutes and 39 seconds left in the opening game of the season, opening game of the existence for the Tacoma Sabres. They trail by 4 points, but they got the ball. Now they got to do more than a field goal.
Yeah, and it's been a fun game. I mean, definitely we appreciate the Nighthawks for putting it on, sponsoring it, and you know, everything that they do, because it's been actually a lot of fun to get a chance to kind of see everybody up close and personal, and then see some early season action.
Yeah,
you know, that's always kind of fun. It's like football's been gone pretty much since, you know, summer, and that's when the leagues usually end. So it's kind of cool to see a game this early, which kind of is a testament to both teams and how seriously they're taking things, but also their preparation. Because if they're in playing form and both teams look pretty decent, that must mean they at least started practicing early January, if not maybe even December or before. So both teams taking this pretty seriously.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun.
Well, and it's interesting, too, because you made the comment earlier, and I wish to expound upon it, is that they practice twice a week, right? And so the fact that they are this far along, this early in the season, suggests that they have some players that are into it. I mean, it matters to them, you know. And then they're going to go home. They don't get paid. They got jobs they got to go to. They got families. Yeah. But when it's Saturday night under the lights like they are today, they are giving us it all, and we appreciate it.
Definitely.
4 receivers again. It's a standard formation. He takes the snap, hands off inside, cuts back 7, heads outside, cuts it back across the game. He sees it. And he just kicks it into overdrive. He has a third gear. That was a sweet move. Moving lateral, right? But good vision, right? Out on the side of his eyes. He sees this opening. He hits it, and then he makes one more cut and then just accelerates. Yeah. Break down this run there. Let's see it again.
Yeah, it was tough because I think they could have maybe still got him. He bounced off. Sharps kind of stopped, and he ended up bumping, basically blocking his own player that was trying to make the tackle. I kind of wanted him to, get in there and at least attempt to make the tackle on that play. But other than that, he just bounced. I mean, he kept his feet running, kept his feet churning, and that made the play.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I think the running back made the defender miss. That was a sweet run, especially how the north and south acceleration.
Yeah.
And here we go.
Well, it's a game again.
Yeah.
It's a game. It's free, but I mean, that's the thing. It's still 3 points. And Nighthawks aren't out of it by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, heck no, and we still got 10. We got a ton of time left.
Yeah.
And the way this works, too, you just don't know what we're going to get on this next drive, right? Big plays moving down the field, or is it going to be, oh, no, we made a mistake here, penalties or things like that. It is early season football.
Yeah.
But both teams, Nighthawks and the Sabres, both teams have shown glimmers of brilliance down the line. Once you get used to it, practice a few more days. Like you were pointing out, you only practice twice a week.
Yeah.
How are these guys so far along after only 2 practices a week?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, probably one of the biggest things is, I mean, with any organization, the biggest challenge is getting people to show up to practice. But if you have people committed and will actually show up, it makes it a lot easier for the coaches to basically, set up a game plan and go over plays, and you can learn a lot, even if it's just, 2 hours here, 2 hours there. Oh, that was a great play. They just blocked the extra
point. Off of the edge, off of the top of the screen there, comes off the edge, blocks.
Can we see that one again?
Point.
That was
because that brings it to less than 3.
That was crucial. I wonder if we can see who actually gets the block on that one.
Now what the rule it used to be, you could return a blocked extra point for 2 points. But I don't see that happening here. Is that the high school rules? You can't do that?
I'm not positive. Whoa, that's kind of crazy. It looks like we got. We had power actually go out in this area. That is, but the stadium's probably on a generator. But like the fans can't see it, but everything kind of flashed, which was kind of weird. And then we see in the distance, some of the buildings, the power was out and then it started popping back on. I think we're on generator power, so we don't lose you guys. But something must have happened. Power pole got hit or something. Got just a tad dark.
Yeah, but you know what? I see lights in the surrounding neighborhood.
Yeah, it looked like it just went off in the neighborhood and then it came back on. So yeah, that was interesting. But yeah, no, that was a huge play. I wish I could have got the number. I almost want to say that might have been Sharps that actually.
Well, they came off the corner from the top of the screen.
But that was a huge play because now it's a 2-point game. Yeah, instead of a 3.
Here we go. Ball's in the air. Nighthawks come up on it, pick it up on the 25. Stutter steps, comes in behind his guy, then breaks completely lateral to the left, turns it up, sees the seam. He's got a seam. Where's the speed? Now he's got one guy to break, to beat.
Oh, man.
The one man to beat. Slowed him down enough so the person he had already beaten came back in, and way after the whistle is a flag.
Oh,
what a run. We've seen so many nice runs.
And
Look at him wait. Go ahead.
Oh, that's Wafer again. That, the last time they broke that big play and they got a really nice return, it was him. So, I mean, he's making big plays in special teams.
Run that again, because look at early on in here where he just does a real starts up. Right? But he waits. He's patient. Waits. And then he makes his cut to the outside.
And good
comes
blocking.
all the way back around and then turns it up. And once he turns it up, he hits into that afterburner, boom, and then goes. Run it on. Uh-oh, we had a power failure there.
But credit to the blocking as well, because you can see, one of the big things on special teams is, part of the – if you have a really great returner, it's going to help you a lot. But whether that becomes maybe a 10, 20-yard return versus 50 or 60, it's
a game
people engaging their blocks and holding those blocks and allowing the running back or basically the return man the chance to do that.
And where are they going to have they have to make blocks in a case like this? 50 yards downfield.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Yeah, and everybody stuck with it. Ooh, so it must have been a personal foul because they got a bunch of extra yards. Yeah, this is where it's hurting the Sabres because You cannot give a team like the Nighthawks this kind of field position.
And look at this. We got wide open to the left and only 2 receivers there, but 2 running backs in. And they go to the single receiver, hit him right there. He was not ready for it. Now watch how they split the running backs. That's to get the he's there. He's right where he needs to be.
That was a beautiful pass. I mean, he had – oh, man. The receiver just didn't get his head around.
Didn't come around. That's one of those things where they always talk about a touch quarterback. He throws the ball before the receiver makes the cut. The ball was well in the air before the receiver came out of his cut. Perfectly designed, right? Right in the corner, right by the cone.
Hit him in the chest.
Yeah.
Full
backfield there. We got 2 receivers to the wide side all the way down here. A lot of open space. What are they going to do? He's looking left, sets, fires. That's a touchdown right there.
Nice catch from Rackley.
So he must have made an inside release. Let's see that again. That receiver is in the slot area. He must have made an inside release, and they just didn't pick him up.
Yeah, he just got that slant, and I don't know. I'm not sure. It looks like they're in maybe zone.
He was looking at it all the way, too. The quarterback was.
Yeah, no, he's seen it. He read it ahead of time, and that was a great throw. He ran a good route, so, it worked out for him perfect.
Back up to a 4-point lead. Throw on this extra point.
Yeah. I'd be curious,
go for 2?
You could.
Yeah, what do you think?
Well, I don't know if they'll get I would almost do it because if they do, then it's a 6-point game.
Right.
That would be worth it right there.
Although I tell you what, I'm throwing that out just to add excitement, but I'm one of those people that always will take the 1. But they're not going to. Here we go. Make it exciting.
Well, the 1 doesn't almost help them because, it's a 4-point game right now. If they go for
look at motion across here, but roll opposite the motion and coming all the way back to the receiver. Ooh. The only receiver on the side, what does he say? No good. He's out of bounds. That was interesting. Motion across from a receiver to the right. They had doubles to the right, 2 receivers to the left. Motion across. There's only 1 receiver now to the right. And that's where they go with the ball. Interesting. But the thing was, there was enough room over there. Let's see that again. Uh-oh, we lost video.
But, it's it was one of those things where the play design was good. It just they weren't on the same page as far as the way the ball placement was and the wide receiver catching it. But no, it's been an exciting game. It was worth it to at least go for it because if it's a 4-point game right now. That's a catch. That's still a catchable.
Let's see it again.
I was Trevor Daniels too. He can catch that. Oh, it just slipped through his hands. You know what the thing that I'm kind of wondering, though, because when that power flashed off a little bit, it kind of got darker in here. And I don't know if it was because we went on generators for a moment or something, but it kind of seemed like, especially on that drive.
No, it does look darker.
Yeah, it kind of seemed like on that drive that people were having a little more problems seeing the ball. And that's why, even the pass that, was right in the end zone and they hit the dude in the chest, I think he kind of couldn't see the ball as much. It's interesting, but
well, the thing is, they are the Nighthawks. So if anyone would have okay. Kicking off here from the 35-yard line, as they often do. They have 3 people deep. We're ready. Approaches the ball. There's the kick. Nice kick down deep.
Oh yeah, that was a great kick.
Catches it right about the end zone, and in fact, he must have stepped into the end zone.
As long as they get your foot to touch the end zone,
automatic. You can't run it out.
Yeah, that's high school rules.
Yeah.
It's kind of frustrating as a returner because you're like, well, basically that means that I can't. They can stop me from returning stuff if they got a good enough kicker.
Yeah,
it's out at the 20 every time. But yeah.
But the thing is, though, if you have a kicker that can always put it into the end zone, that's a pretty good deal. You don't want teams to return the ball.
Oh, exactly. We've already seen so far in this game how big special teams can be if you let somebody that's really good at returning kind of take that ball back. So,
and I thought it was an interesting point you made earlier is how you only practice twice a day or twice a week, and they don't always show up. That's where it would hurt you in the special teams. That's if you're going to not spend enough time. It's going to be on special teams.
Yeah, because usually you're going to have to pull it from somewhere to make up for that time.
To make up for the time.
Yeah. So
Well,
we
that
got a
was
penalty.
the penalty before the snap. They stopped it. That usually suggests that
What's he
it's
doing?
offense.
They're running backs.
That could be a penalty. That could be called delay of game.
The running back kept running all the way to the touchdown. It's a lot of energy to expend that you don't need to.
What the heck just happened there?
I'm pretty sure they blew the ball dead, but he just he kept going.
It's kept going. Well, it's got to be against the offense because they wouldn't stop the play.
No, I think it's that's the thing. I think in high school, and I could be wrong, but I think in high school, neutrals, if like you get a neutral zone infraction, they will stop the play.
Right, on defense, right.
Yeah, so it's like even if, like you can't do that. Like in NFL, if I get somebody to jump off sides, I can hike the ball and I get a free play.
Free play.
In high school, it's a dead ball automatically.
I see. Handoff inside. He says, well, I'll just keep running. Didn't get quite as many yards as he did the play before, except these yards actually count.
He's probably tired from running the full length of the
all
field.
the way down there.
Like, yeah, I don't know. They kind of told him to keep going, I guess.
Gain of 5 on that. 2nd and 5. Quarterback comes to the sidelines, talks to the coach, heads back into the huddle.
Yeah. I'll be curious to see what Nixon does in this next series.
Well, it's a big opportunity for him to really take over that position. Zach Nixon, number 1, is the quarterback out there right now. He looks to the right, looks to the left. He's ready. Motions to the slot man. He's ready for the ball. Here it goes. Looking right, fakes the handoff. Looking right.
Oh, look out.
Coming in from behind.
Nice play, though. Nice play.
That was a good run. Let's see what they did off of the contain.
Well, that was Darius Ridley on that one.
That makes the sack. Run it again. I don't think anyone picked him up. Game's off of the edge.
Yeah, good. He just snuck in there.
Yeah.
And they did not see him. Yeah, it was well executed.
That often is an indication that the young man is quick. That's a quickness move right there.
Yeah, I'm curious if they may even run a stunt where they kind of crossed and he got free.
That would explain a little more how open he was. But he's outside there.
Oh, now they're in trips.
Look right for the second, then looking left.
Oh, there you go.
That
was a good execution.
Running back out of the backfield, runs a seam route.
Yeah, like Ty Bowie has been kind of one of their targets that they like. They've given him the ball, and he's done some things with it tonight as far as what he's got going.
So we're at 4th and about 3.5. Long 3, 4 yards. Really, you go for it? I tell you what, got to like their. Well, everything just went discombobulated right there. The guy jumping off sides down here at the bottom of the offense. Ball was snapped, but the ball, I think they'd already whistled it dead.
That's just like going those mental errors, because it's obvious that they were trying to do what they've done to get a first down the last couple times. Especially, you only need 3 yards.
Yeah.
Make them jump off sides, and of
then
course,
you got to jump.
Yeah, sometimes when you're out there, you forget. Like it seems like it would be so easy, but when you're playing on the field, you're thinking about so many different things.
Variables.
And like you're thinking about what route you're going to run in the play and everything else, and what the coverages are going to be on top of you and all these other things, and it's easy to actually forget the snap count because you just get so used to it, especially if you're going on one most of the time. It's almost robotic that you will just move when you hear the hike.
Well, that made them decide to punt it. But the question, too, is that you're going to go for it on 4th down. That suggests you're a little worried about your defense.
Yeah, and, well, so far tonight, they've been able to get them to go offsides like at least 2 or 3 times. So they probably figured, why not try that again?
Oh, so I see where you're coming from. You're saying that it wasn't supposed to be snapped. In other words, they were trying to draw the defense offside.
Yeah, they may have decided to snap it after they attempted, but it was clearly they tried to draw, and they drove their own player offsides because the one dude wasn't paying attention. But, yeah, they were clearly trying to see if they could get, another one because they've done it all night.
I could see that.
And, I mean, hey, why not? It's, 4th and 3. Worst case scenario, you take a penalty.
Right, you get the delay and move it back to where it was.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then they need to communicate a little more clearly with each other. Here we go, 1st and 10. Game down to the wire here.
Yeah.
1st and 10, 48-yard line. This is a big chance for the Nighthawks to really step
and there's
up.
a penalty. I think probably a legal substitution. If it's
Well, as I was saying,
too
it's
many
a
men on the
chance
field.
for the Nighthawks to take control and earn this game.
Yeah. I think they're going to go for the kill here. I would not be surprised at all. Yep, illegal substitution. That hurts. Yeah, see, that's one of those big just you get this late in the game, especially when you have to start switching different personnel and giving different people rests and everything else.
Oh, yeah.
It can happen.
That's going to happen all the time. Now the shotgun hands off to the running back from the right, cuts across to the left. The quick feet turns up, sees the seam, and then the hits into it. I tell you what, let's see that again. Watch as he comes across the formation towards the camera. Look at his quick feet as he squares his body upfield and then accelerates through the seam.
Yeah, Donnie McKee, he did a really nice cutback. You can see when he hit that hole and got him a few extra yards. I mean, that's what you want.
The 5 yards.
Yeah, that's what you want.
And that gives you
first down.
Because, you got such a plethora of plays to choose from when you only need the 5 yards. Now we got 1st and 10, about the 41-yard line. Full backfield there on the shotgun. 2 receivers wide, one down here, one to the top. Hands off inside. Oh, man, what a play.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
What that was a big time play from Jack McDonald though.
Jack McDonald makes the play.
McDonald.
Look at this. It's such a
gone.
sweet run. Look at
it
him.
Was a great run.
Hit the gate, hit the slot, turned it up.
He punched it.
He
yeah.
sure did.
Oh, man. Yeah, Isaiah Corwin's, I mean, he's had some good plays today. It's just, man, what is really hurting the Nighthawks today, and it's to the credit of what the Sabres have done. They've been creating turnovers. One way or another, they have been making plays where you think they haven't really allowed the Nighthawks to really get into their normal groove. Yeah, the normal groove of what you would expect to see. They'll get a big play and then penalty or a fumble or something will take it back.
Handoff inside. Not a whole lot there.
You're all over.
And this is important because Hold them down here deep, and then that fumble won't hurt you as much. And that's the thing, right? They got that 4-point lead. Speaking of the Nighthawks, so they hold the offense down here deep in their own territory. They got the 4-point lead. That fumble won't hurt them if they're able to limit the opposing team to just like a first down or two.
Yeah, and it's one of the biggest things is at this point in the game, it's kind of getting to that crunch time.
Yeah.
And this is almost a must-score drive.
Oh, Sabres see a guy coming off the edge. Hand it off inside.
Fumble. That was close.
It was a fumble?
Yeah, it looks like they didn't get the handoff, but he fell back on it.
Let's see that again, get a little closer.
Yeah,
that ball is out. Oh, that ball was way out there.
Yeah, they did not get the handoff correct.
So the Nighthawks showed pressure, blitz off of the left side of the defense. The quarterback put the ball down on the ground.
Yeah. Yeah, the Nighthawks almost had it right there. That would have probably put the game away. In this field position, it would be hard pressed not to score.
And what are you gonna? What can you do now? I mean, you gotta throw the ball, right?
Yeah.
So where do we think they're gonna go? What do we got? We got 2 down here. 2 wide at the top.
Did I think they just take a timeout? No, or they just?
Well, this might be the
referees just stopped the play, so something's happening.
This might not be a bad place to take a timeout.
Yeah, because they probably need to figure out what they want to do. I mean, if
they're winding it, so it was the
Okay.
official stopping
Okay.
for some official reason.
well, I'll be curious to see if they
Quarterback checks off to the right, takes the ball. He's looking right the whole way. The guy's open. He's got a chance.
overthrew him. Yeah.
And then after the ball was off, he got nailed. And the quarterback is still down on the ground, a little slow getting up. That is a tough guy there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's run that again. What happened? It looked like a good design play. It looks like the inside receiver kind of hitting the seam.
Yeah. Well, it looks like I kind of figured. I mean, they stacked that side, and you got Cody in the slot, and then you got Klingsberg in the out wide, and so they both just ran a streak. Basically they were running, right up the seam, and he just had to pick who he wanted to throw it to. Just overthrew him.
4th down, deep in their territory, inside their own 10-yard line. Luckily, they still have enough room to punt. The punter will have plenty of room to take the snap and get the kickoff. But even a great kick is going to end up the ball inside their own territory.
Oh, my goodness.
And, of course, oh, my gosh. At the best, it's a safety.
Oh, special teams. Sometimes, I will say, that's like your best hope. Because sometimes when you're having problems on special teams, like you're hoping you end up with a safety because it could end up a lot worse. Like, oh man.
Well, yeah, except now they're going to have to kick it to the Nighthawks.
Yeah. Well, now it's also a 6-point game, so now they need a touchdown minimum to even, and they have to stop them. Like, they got 4 minutes right now, and they have to stop the Nighthawks, or else pretty much it's the game.
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah,
this is it.
So for the Nighthawks, this is the perfect time to put the game away.
Well, if you look at it, I mean, I guess with the mistakes and everything that happened at that point, this turns out to be a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
Right? You get the 2 points, and you get the ball, and the game's running down. The time is running out.
Yeah.
If they planned it this way, it was pretty brilliant. Now, of course, you don't plan to fumble, drop the ball, and those type of things.
Yeah.
But this worked out pretty dang good for the Nighthawks.
Yeah, because they were able to basically have time taken off the clock and ended up with points out of it from, special teams, basically. Which, yeah, and that's one of the things, too. Like, I think for both these teams,
they choose to punt it.
Yep.
The ball hits just inside the 50-yard line. He gets across the 50 and out of bounds, stopping the clock with 4 minutes and 10 seconds to go. And this is where we say if the Nighthawks, if they want the game, they earn it right here.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's kind of up to them whether they want to, go for the win or not. But they can basically play it 2 ways, because they could decide, okay, well, we're going to go and put this game away, or they could decide to try to drain the clock out and make that a priority. I feel like they should just put the game away. That's what you should do. Get aggressive.
I'm with you, but you know what I'm saying? Run the ball. Yeah, let's take up the whole clock. Okay, there we go. The quarterback shotgun flanked by runners.
Oh my, yikes.
Okay, the one thing I would say that you should not do is what just happened here. No, it's interesting. I'm going with you. I was looking at this, but it's tough out of the shotgun. I'm looking at this. You got plenty of time to drive it down the field. Now, it's easy to say this once I saw what just happened, right? But now what are they going to do now? Because you got to get a first down, right? You can't.
Yeah.
You really don't want to give the ball back because you're only up by 6.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to go to the air. And where do we think they're going to go? Here they go. Got the wide side of the field. They got 2 receivers. That's down here. Then they got 2 to the short side. They got the running back alongside to protect the quarterback. He's ready. He's showing blitz. Coming blitz up the middle. That's caught. That means it's going to be Seaver comes down
long
the field.
throw.
He's got a guy. He got it.
Oh, he broke it up.
Oh, man.
I think that was Jack McDonald again.
Yeah, because it looked to me like
Jack McDonald again, getting in there and making a play. Oh, that was close. Oh, he just lost. And that was actually smart, as far as the defender. The defender basically
See it again. What? Go ahead.
Oh, the defender, he puts his hand up in front of the receiver's face.
He never even looked at the ball.
No, and fortunately, he didn't get too close to where he was coming in contact, because that would be a penalty.
It would be.
But by looking at him and knowing that he was about to catch it, he sees him raise his hands, and he just put his hand up into his view. That's a tough catch. Like, I can tell you.
Yeah, it was there, though. Yeah, that's tough both ways. Okay, here we go. Single back. Ball's on the ground again. He picks it up. Going over the top. He's going big time. He didn't get it. I thought for 1 second, let's see it again.
I tell you, I think the wide receivers are losing this ball in
the lights.
Yeah, because
we don't have the good angle here, but it does look like the ball dropped into where it should be for the receiver.
If you look at it, it looked like it could have been caught. Like, I think they're losing it, in the air. Yeah.
Look we have more lights now. See that? It actually is. There's now more light on the field than there was.
I'm telling you, like, when those whenever I think they must have finally got the actual power back, because everything got a little darker.
Yeah, no, it's bright because I see a bunch of the lights were out. Now they're back on. But now look at here we are, 4th and about 20, a little less. Okay, they're punting it.
Yeah.
This is a big series. 3:11 to go. Get the punt. It's blocked. No, it wasn't blocked. Good pressure. He gets it on the run. Cuts back to the outside.
Good tackle.
Good open field tackle. I'd like to see that form again. Let's see that, because the coverage man for the punting team,
I think that was Trevor Daniels,
made a really good play, because it looked like the punt returner had something going. Look at this. He's got some speed, came inside. Boom. It was just hustle. You know what?
Excellent tackle.
Yeah, the first guy downfield, the pressure guy made the running back, the receiver, the punt returner make a cut, and then the next person hustling down was able to break off of the cut and drop him right there. Big takedown on the 30-yard line. Here we go. Yeah, game on the line on this drive. 2 down here, 2 receivers to the top, running back next to the shotgun, looking both ways. Shotgun, quarterback steps up, moves outside. How did he get free? There's a hell! Oh, man, no! Well, Cody, it's going to be a first down.
Cody.
Maybe they have those crackback blocks, which is a bad call.
It wasn't a crackback, but you can't block like that. That's
Let's
the
see
problem.
It's close. I don't see it.
What they'll call is a block in the back. You can't run into.
Run it again, and right before contact, let's slow it down, because it looks to me that he got his hands underneath the shoulder pad.
Yeah, but it's not him.
Slow down.
Right. See, he hits him. He hits him from like kind of the side back area. It wasn't a full-on block, but I think they're going to still call block in the back.
They're waving it off. Oh. This is good.
Well, you gotta as a wide receiver, you gotta know where you're at, because that's so dangerous.
They waved it, but you know what?
It's not worth the risk.
I love the fact that they do this now, because back in the old days when I played, they never waved it off. That's where the makeup calls came from. You hear the call makeup call. That's because they would not wave that off. Because I think if we could slow this down, I think you actually see the blocker hitting with his hands, which is what you teach.
Yeah, the issue was more of like where he blocked him at. And it was really close.
Well, if it was in the back, then that's different. Mm-hmm. If it was in the back, we'd see the show and blitz up the middle. He's got some movement. The quarterback moves right, moves left, steps up, and takes it into the backfield, into the secondary. Hammered. They put him down hard. I tell you what, he gains yard, but every time he gains those yards, he's taking some hits. Big gain on first down, though, back into the Nighthawk territory.
Yeah,
2nd and 4.
They've got to figure out to find some way to contain them.
Wow, what a game. That was a huge penalty.
Oh, yeah.
But they didn't, not calling it was a huge penalty. Look at the big guys inside.
Yep. Offsides. Yeah, it's like one of those things. Yeah, it's just these little. There's been a lot of penalties that are just mental error.
You talked about this earlier, and you pointed it out how the change, because that defensive guy, he didn't even. It was not even a case where the offensive player thought he was going to get hit. Mm-hmm. It was just he stepped into the neutral zone, which is the width of the football. Defense must stay on their side of the ball. Offense on the offensive side of the ball. The center is the only person that actually can enter into the neutral zone with his hands.
It's like we got 2-minute warning. Oh, wow. This is going to come down to the wire.
2-minute warning was so that's the difference too from high school. So that's one of the difference in the rules that they call out here from high school.
I like that they keep that because that's it's kind of like a football tradition. It's nice to have.
In the pros, yeah. They don't do that in high school or in college. And now the reason they do that is, you are too young of a man to remember this, but football stadiums used to have an actual clock with an arm that would go around. That would be a second hand. I remember these things that go around, and the problem is clocks are often wrong. So they were just to suggest the time. It was the official on the field kept the time. So to let the team know you got 2 minutes to go, they would call timeout because you never really could tell by the clock. Well, in fact, every game, if the clock doesn't work, every game from all levels, Pop Warner on up, they have the ability to keep the time on the field.
Yeah.
Almost offsides, gets the ball, running back moving upfield. The defense almost jumped off sides. We're able to connect on that snap, and the quarterback keeps the play alive. Not much of a gain.
It looked like Wood timed it perfectly because it looked like he was about to be offside.
Yeah, I thought he was actually for a second there.
I was surprised he didn't call it, but it's going to be interesting. It's going to be.
It's just the Nighthawks have that lead, right? That's the thing, but they got to keep them out of the end zone.
Yeah.
Here we go.
That's crucial.
Big game. Trips to the top. Quick inside release. He drops the ball. He picks it back up. Scrambling to left. Looking where to go. Turns it up. He's about to get hit, and he's going under a big pile up.
He's just taking so many hits.
He is just taking so many hits.
What was surprising, I think, about that play is like he literally bobbles the ball and it's sitting there. No one is going. No one's even trying to get the ball. But I think that is, though, one of the things that probably their coach talked about. They're not actually trying to pursue him. They're trying to make sure he doesn't run.
Get outside and contain or break it up. It's the old thing where they'll put – sometimes when you have a great running quarterback, the defense will actually have a spy.
Yeah.
Where you're kind of giving up a defender, but that guy will stand there and watch the quarterback to make sure he's not able to get out of the pocket or break it upfield.
Yeah, and pretty much most of the times when they're over pursuing Mace, he's able to bounce around and move around and get out of the pocket and go upfield. And it's like these big chunk plays in the run from the quarterback position kill you.
It's a big chunk plays. Yeah. That's been, the story of the game. Or certainly the story for the Tacoma Sabers is when that quarterback makes some big plays. And, hey, talk about big plays. We got one here. Yeah. 3rd and 9.5. Okay, they're up tight. Defensively on their wide receivers down here to the bottom. 2 towards us, 2 to the top on the short side of the field. And the defensive guy
does it again.
Yeah. Okay, add 5. And then we talked about this earlier. That opens up the playbook, right? Because they got to throw it here. Now, 3rd and 4.
Yeah.
What
Max
do you do?
Made some plays, but it's like, you can't jump off sides. Like that's once you get in that neutral zone, this is high school rules. You cannot get back.
You can't do it.
Like
what's the field goal range? What do we think about that? That 5 yards, does that put you in field goal range?
Well, the thing is, they're going to need more than a field goal. They have to get 6 points to tie.
Oh, right.
If they score a touchdown, they could win with an extra point.
Oh man!
What a hit, though. Is the ball fumbled?
What? Fumbled the
ball.
And the game. I think that's the game. Here we go. Good
Tony,
hard
that was a
charge
hit
right.
from Tony
Turn
Banks,
upfield.
I believe, right here.
Went right over.
Oof. Oh, but no, he's down. Oh,
that's going to be questionable.
Roll it?
So
that's close.
That's one of those form tackles where they teach you not the
but
first guy got run over.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. That's why you always have somebody clean up.
But now watch this.
He
He puts his helmet right on the ball.
Good hit. Yeah, that was Tony Banks right there.
Let's see it one more time.
Major play. It's hard really to see from our angle when the ball actually comes
turns
out
it
because
up.
we lose the ball. We just see it. But that was – no, it looks like – yeah, he looked like he was already losing it because you could actually see for a split second it looks like it's in the other arm, kind of like back, like it's almost coming out.
Well, it's one of those things which, of course, we don't have replay here as far for it to take precedent on the field. But even if we did, this is one of those deals where whatever the call was, and I think the call was probably right, although you are correct, is that we can't really break it all down as to when exactly the football came out. But right, there's certainly not enough to overturn that.
No, and it's kind of heartbreaking for a young team, but like especially when you're driving, there's still a chance. But hey, the Nighthawks came and made plays, and that's what you want for your defense to make those crucial plays at the end of the game. And to their credit, they made the play when it counted.
So now what they're doing here, right, it's where they're going to take the knee so the defense doesn't come off. I disagree with that because I'll tell you, do you remember the Super Bowl where the Kansas City – Patrick Mahomes, they were in the victory formation, and then he didn't take a knee. He just stood up. That's right, and that's allowed. So what you need to do, instead of line up and hit, you need to be able to trade a down for the time off the clock because Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl took a cheap job. He stood there while the defense wasn't coming at him and just stood there and let the clock run down. So that means you have to come full speed all the time. Yeah. And I've seen this. I was actually coaching in a game years ago down in San Diego where the opposing team, they were higher rated. The guy faked to take a knee, popped up through a touchdown pass. Right? So you can't just let them take a knee. You got to fire off because they can cheat. Years ago, San Diego State went up to Michigan. It was a close game. Michigan won by 4 points or so. The quarterback pretended to take a knee, then stood up. So the defense has to come off. Right? The defense has to come off full speed. So the way to make it safer is you can trade a down for 30 seconds off the clock. So in other words, just say, rather than go through this where the defense has to come off because a person like Patrick Mahomes, the Kansas City quarterback, can just stand there and not take a knee.
Yeah. Actually, I think I kind of like some of the rules that they have in the XFL as far as like slowing the amount of – you can't take as much time off, but that could be an interesting solution. I mean, since this is a formality anyways, why not just wind it 30 seconds?
Run the clock.
Yeah, and just make that a quote-unquote play.
Right there, the quarterback didn't go down right away. He took up extra time, right? And so, that's it. So, again, just going over Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. Didn't take a knee in the victory formation. San Diego State playing Michigan, close game. The Michigan quarterback didn't take a knee, just stood up, ran clock off.
Question is, what are they going to do? Because I think there's still going to be a little bit of time left on the clock. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's 4th down right now. I don't know.
Timeout. They call timeout, right?
They've already used their timeout, so I think they still have to run one more play. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're going to take the penalty.
So how long can you throw the ball up in the air? Holy mackerel.
Yeah, I thought there was going to be time.
See, so what you can do there is you can run it down to 1 second. What you can do there is on 4th down, take the snap and throw the ball up in the air because if the ball's in the air until it hits the ground, the clock runs.
Yeah, but to be honest, if I was to do it, I'd probably take the snap and take the knee, even if it gives you a safety because it doesn't matter. Or snap it into the end zone, out of the end zone.
Yeah, but then you still have to kick it.
As long as it takes that 1 second off, that's true. I would take a knee. Just take a knee, yeah.
Well, that's because it's over.
Yeah.
All right, well, that was one heck of a game, I tell you what. So let's recap it. Started off, we expected the new team to coming out of here, the Sabres.
Yeah.
Right, well, we figured they'd be outmatched, but okay, let's see what happens. They took it to the Nighthawks right off the bat. Now, you got to hand it to the Nighthawks because they were able to come back, and they got knocked back a few times, but they were able to get it together, put together the plays they needed to, and then hold on to the end and win this game.
Yeah,
what do you think?
It was a well-fought game from both sides. I mean, it's nice to have a fun game. It was high sring. I mean,
Yeah, the first game of the year.
35 to 31 for the end of and a preseason game too. Like I think it'll be good for both teams because both teams made some plays. So it's like
they made plays on both sides.
Oh
of the
yeah,
ball.
and I mean, the Nighthawks kind of made the plays you would expect them to make down the stretch, but they did have little things where they need to work on, some penalties and mistakes that they made along the way. So they got some stuff to clean up, but they're looking like they're on schedule. I think the biggest thing is the Sabres. They impressed, you know.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, you know, you get into the schoolyard, you want to punch the biggest bully in the mouth right off the bat, and so they went after the Nighthawks. They knew, they're the defending champions, so they're like, hey, we're gonna schedule a game. Most teams wouldn't want to do that, but they held their own. So I was impressed.
You don't want to punch me in the mouth, right?
No.
Okay, so here we go. The Tacoma Sabers in the Pacific Northwest Football League. It was a cross-league matchup, and then we had the SouthSound Nighthawks from the Northern Cascade Football League. Great preseason game, as you pointed out. Didn't count toward the championship, but it was one heck of a game. Big game for the Sabres to establish themselves, but good teams pull it out in the end. The SouthSound Nighthawks were able to put it together at the end and pull out an important and impressive, maybe not the whole way there, but in the end it was an impressive victory against a really fired up opponent.
Oh yeah. So it's exciting. It's kind of like an exciting preview of what's to come because really for both these teams, you're seeing them at their rawest. They haven't had that much time to practice. They haven't had that much time to figure it out. So a lot of this is pre-established like chemistry. And with the Sabres, I mean, they even without maybe a big history, they've been able to obviously form an amount of chemistry, even their little amount of practice that they've got so far. So it looks promising for both teams. I'm excited to see what they both do this season.
Thank you so much to the SouthSound Nighthawks for sponsoring this broadcast. Definitely. It was a great time. Thank you so much for joining me down here, Bryce Williams. It was an amazing experience. And one game doesn't make history, but I tell you what, it's a great way to start a history. That was the Tacoma Sabres giving the big-time SouthSound Nighthawks all they could handle right up to the end. Definitely. Randall here, Bryce there, Chip, thank you very much. SeaGame.live. Good times. All right. Are we clear? Oh, hey, we're still on. Okay, so let me